I don't go live a lot, even though I want to, because, bro, social anxiety is a bitch when you feel like you're sitting in front of a camera, in front of an audience of people. And I don't see how people are able to do it every day. It's like when I get on here, even when I'm just sitting here by myself, when the live first starts up, I have like I gotta catch my breath and shit. It's like, bro, oh my god, you just live. You go on camera every fucking day. I be outside filming myself in front of people. I set up cameras and tripods, and I'm in my own little world. Okay, hey, how you doing, Odin? And that doesn't bother me because I can zone people out. But hey, what's up, Tanae? But when I come in and I try to uh, go live, if for some reason initially um, I'm super nervous and I don't know why. I'm trying to get over that. But how y'all doing? Actually off today. I was on a 7 day stretch. So I had to sporadically, try to fit some content in between, clocking in and everything. But I think I made it happen. We got here to to Sunday, and I feel good about myself. Call alive finally. Peace and love, bro. Your story is so similar to mine. Hey, how you doing, Khalil? Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about a few things today. I'm gonna talk about mostly this is just my observation, okay? It seems like right now, and I'm getting all right, I'll start like this, okay? When I was younger, the first thing I ever wanted to do as a person was, I know it's gonna sound funny, but I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go to space. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of little kids, I wanted to be a spaceman. Okay, but as I got older and I learned what an astronaut actually does, yo, what's up, Ash? And I learned what an astronaut actually does. You have to be either a doctor, you have to be a scientist, you have to be some type of pilot. There's requirements in order for you to even be qualified or even considered to go up into space. And as I got older and I realized that a lot of those requirements were things that I just was like not willing to, put myself through to even get to that point. I wasn't about to become nobody's doctor. Even though I like science and I like the scientific method and everything, I wasn't about to become nobody's scientist. I wasn't about to go to school for that. I knew that in my head. I knew that in my subconscious. I knew that to the core of my spirit that I wasn't going to do that. Right. I get into it in a little bit. Okay. Let me keep going. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And I also found out, you have to be a part of, um, how to put it, the upper echelon of your class to even be considered for that type of situation, right? So, like, if you're going to be a pilot on a spaceship, you have to be at the top of whatever coming out of Annapolis and coming out of the Air Force and coming out top of the top of the top of the top, right? And these things require sacrifices, right? I'm not saying that these things are not obtainable, but they require sacrifices of your life. Whether you believe space is real or not, we'll get into that in a second. They require sacrifices for you to even be considered to be a part of that, right? Now, not get into the politics of whether I believe that's real or not. At the time, as a child and as a teenager, that's what I wanted to do in my life, right? That is until, like I say, I looked at all these stipulations, I looked at all these requirements, and I was like, I'm not doing that. That'll never be me. Like, so me telling myself that in my subconscious and my whole spirit, I was never going to be an astronaut. That was never going to happen, right? Never. Dedication. I was never going to put in the dedication to become that. I was never going to be put in the dedication to become an elite athlete. I was never going to play ball because I wasn't going to do that because I seen that the people that put themselves through those paces, there was a level of commitment and required that for one, I admire to this day. But for those particular things, I wasn't willing to put myself through them, right? It really does matter how well you do in school. I found networking, aka networking is the biggest one, aka making friends with rich people and getting hooked with good jobs is the real point. It is the point. It really is. The networking too, because you make lifelong friends in college. And I mean, that networking is very important, bro. Because take me for instance. Let's say the people that know what I do as far as like animation and 3D stuff, as I started to get into it, a person that is, if I was networking with the right people, finding jobs in that field would be a whole lot easier than trying to put your foot in the door and submitting, sizzle reels and portfolios and stuff. Because if you know somebody that's gonna put you up there, they're gonna say, I know a dude. here he is, let's give him this job. You know what I'm saying? Or I could suggest, they could at least put your resume and your portfolio in a position to where you're seen above everybody else because of the networking, because you went to school. At the time when I was in high school, especially when I was a teenager, I didn't understand the importance of exactly that word, networking as far as college. If I would have knew how important network, fuck a degree, right? If I would have knew how important it was to forge relationships like in school, I would have put more effort into like going into college when my counselors and stuff were trying to put me through that, but I didn't understand that. I fixed 2 boards on my porch, and that got me free apples and potatoes. My church has been mean to me, so I took some coffee and left a potato and apple on the plate. I'll be taking the apples. But I ended up realizing, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be no athlete, and especially in school. I don't. That's some shit I wasn't going to ever do. But there came a time when I got into comic books for some reason, and I got into drawing, and I got into animation. I got into reading graphic novels and stuff, and my perspective on not just what I wanted to do with myself changed, but life changed, like morality, my appreciation for good storytelling and writing. It just became what I wanted to do with my life, and that's what I've literally been dedicating myself to for the last 20 years. On top of everything else I do just in order to survive, these things are more than just a hobby to me. These things are life to me. You know what I'm saying? Like as I'm currently working on a story called Galaxian. There's a point to all this, by the way. I'm not just rambling. There's a whole point. I'm working on a story called Galaxium, and I've been working on it for a minute, but it requires so much time and so much effort in order to just bring it to you. I'm gonna put it up here on the channel once it's done. It's a whole story I'm telling. It's gonna be a whole long animation, and I've learned so much from making my last couple animations that it's gonna look awesome. And so it requires a lot of time to put into that dedication, because that's what I want out of life. But in doing that, knowing that that's what I'm going to be dedicating my time to, on top of making content for this channel. Oh man, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. On top of putting effort and stuff into this channel, on top of, obviously having to work in order to maintain life, I really want to put my time and effort into Galaxium and into the stories here on this page. That's what I want to do with my life and with my time. Not dedicate, I'm not expecting anybody else outside of myself to, hey, Gina, welcome in, to make that happen for me, right? That has to be me. I don't expect a team to come in to help me with the sound. I don't expect experts to come in and help me with some of the animation. These are all things that I'll have to facilitate myself in order to see this project come to fruition, is my point. That's what I have to do. You understand what I'm saying? I have to do that. That's something that I have to do. And I say that to say, there are a lot of people expressing that their lives are trash right now. And they are putting the blame on the fact that they don't have a good husband, they don't have a wife, they don't have a boyfriend, they don't have people in their life that are making their lives better, right? The government, the politicians. There's a lot of people that are expecting other people to come in and facilitate a dream for them. But here's the kicker. When you ask most people what they want to do with their life, or what do they want out of their life, most people can't tell you. And I'm not saying that to put people down. Oh man, it's gonna be sick, man. Galaxian is actually the game it's called Galaxium. Galaxian is the game that I named it was Galaxian, Galaga, and then it was another one. Galaxian, Galaga, but that's what the premise, where the initial premise for the whole thing came from. So I had this whole obsession with like those top-down spaceship games, and I liked the way that they looked. And then this whole story came into my head, and it just blossomed into this whole thing that I'm making. But a lot of people are saying, okay, my life is trash because all of the men, all of the women that I dealt with have made my life garbage, right? They're not taking responsibility for the fact that they haven't put behind themselves, that they haven't invested in themselves. And it goes back to when you ask most people, what do they want to do out of life? They can't tell you. They can't tell you. And like I said, it's not to knock people. They just can't tell you because most people are caught up in the rat race like we all are. You go to work, You have to take care of your family. You have to take care of your kids. You have responsibilities. You don't have time to be daydreaming about stories and even the childhood fantasies you had of becoming an astronaut, so to speak. You don't have that in your head. A lot of people just don't have that. So it's like, what do you want to do? The only thing you can see where you are in the moment and where you want to be. I'm here, but I want to live in a mansion. I want these things out of life. You see yourself here at A, but you want to see yourself at Z. But the in between that makes Z even happen, you can't imagine it. So on a fundamental level, right, on down to your DNA, on down to your subconscious, you can't make it happen because the only thing you can see is here to there. There's steps that it takes, and I didn't understand that before. I didn't, because I would see like performers and rappers that I'll be like, oh, these niggas, how the fuck is these niggas rich? This nigga can barely read. How is this nigga getting everything out of life that I feel like I want or I feel like I deserve? Do I deserve it? No, I'm not that nigga. That's not my position in life. I deserve exactly where I am. I deserve exactly who I am because this is what I put into me. It's what it is. That person was in the place that he was to be where he was and to obtain what he obtained, whether I like it or not, whether I agree with it or not, whatever it is. And in his head or her head, they put enough affirmation behind what they wanted out of life to make that come to fruition. They didn't wait for this person or this person or this person to do it for them. They just did it. And I think that is the difference between most successful people and people that have been like myself, that have always lived in a poverty mindset, is like, you have to love the work even when you don't. You really do. I hope you're doing well, my boy. I can't even I can't oh yeah, I can't wait to show y'all. This fucking sick. Still worthy is the lamb. Jesus gonna give us families back. Not saying where we are now is bad. And that's the thing, because I'm not going to lie, and I say this all the time openly. I aspire to have that family. I aspire to have people come and people be there and sharing this. And like you said, the networking, and it would be even better if professionally those people were there too. But that's not what it is. So I have to make things happen myself. I can sulk. I could say, oh, okay, you know what? I'm 42 years old. This hasn't happened for me yet. This hasn't happened for me. I failed at this. I failed at that. Fuck life. But I can't feel like that. It's hey, what's up, Demetrius? I just can't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? And the present is the present, and it is a gift from God to even exist in the present. I only recently learned, I was sharing this with somebody. I only recently learned that actual meditation isn't about putting yourself into another position or trying to put your mind someplace else. It's understanding that you're exactly where you are right now and just being there. And it's just accepting just being. It's just being a being. And there's some peace and there's some comfort to that, because there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no left, there's no right. You just are like a fucking plant. And it's funny because I've always said if I reincarnated, I want to come back as a tree. As boring as that is, I just want to be a fucking tree. I don't want to be no moving thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a carnivorous animal or an animal that has to put out all this extra energy. I would rather be a living being that provides, shelter and shade and comfort to like all of the other creatures and food. And that's what I want to be. If reincarnation is a real thing, that's exactly what I want to be. I want to be a fucking tree. I think I've had enough of all this running around and playing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, trees are beautiful for their stillness and peace. They are. But I want people to understand that the pursuit of those things it's just those are just things, because if you're not happy right now at point A and you think they're getting to point Z automatically gonna make you happy, it's not. Those things are not gonna fulfill you. It's literally the journey between point A to point Z that creates the memories and the character and the person that you are, that makes being at point Z, even if you never get there, worth the damn. You understand? Um, no, no, I wouldn't want to be no bird. Birds are some of the craziest animals. I didn't even know that birds had ears. See, I be learning stuff until what about a year ago. I didn't know that they had like, if you take their feathers off, they have like, this is like a hole in their head. Like it's just like ugly as shit. But I didn't know they had ears. I mean, of course I knew they can hear, but I was like, I just never, thought about ears. A bird with ears is stupid, bro. That's crazy. Yo, welcome in, welcome in. Um, but there's a how are y'all doing with, have y'all done, like, I see a lot of people are rejecting the whole consumerism thing. I think a lot of people are rejecting that right now because a lot of people don't have it. A lot of people are saying that they're not buying presents, or they're doing a very limited low key Christmas this year, which I agree with. And there's people, saying like, okay, I saw a lady just take her whole Christmas tree and throw it out the goddamn house. She was like, fuck this Christmas shit. Da, 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 da. And she picked up the tree and she just threw the shit out the house. That shit was funny to me. She don't have kids or like that, but I still thought the shit was funny. She was like, especially when you it's the thing, bro. You got bills, the holidays come and go. Half the shit you're gonna get for the kids, especially, they're not gonna fuck with. You get them what they want, they'll fuck with that. Get them exactly what they want, you're good. You save a lot of money. But trying to keep up with the Joneses and have all this shit under the tree and buy stuff for people you don't even talk to most of the year is insane. I don't see that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that's like a waste of money. My mom did Secret Santa this year. We never did that before, so everybody just wouldn't spend. So that's a smart thing to do too, right? Like, especially, put names in a hat. People pull names out of a hat. Do Secret Santa like that. It says, instead of everybody, okay, you getting 5 gifts, you getting 5. Everybody's all broke by January. That's crazy. Good things about birds is you can fuck off and fly away. It's shit. But I've seen some birds of prey fuck up some regular birds, bro. These owls out here. If I wasn't a bird of prey, I wouldn't want to be a bird. If I wasn't a falcon, if I wasn't an owl, no thank you. These falcons, they'll dive at you, take your head off. If you're a regular bird, if you a pigeon, you come across an owl nest, the owls just fuck you up. It's just like this. It's like the power dynamic is so crazy, because you would think, okay, pigeons. I mean, everybody think pigeons are dirty birds. The pigeons are smart animals. They're loyal. They remember faces. They can remember their names. They can remember calls. They're not as dirty as y'all think. They just look like that. But pigeons get knocked off by falcons. Fucking everything gets knocked off by falcons, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no party like a Diddy party though. Diddy's in jail, and it's gonna be coming to a lot of people that have that perversion spirit about taking advantage. That's the thing I want to talk about too. It's literally about being on the right side of history, and I'm not trying to be that dude, but the reason I'm having these talks anyway is because I think that a lot of people expect out of life to be fed, right? And when the hand that feeds stop feeding, what do? And who is the hand that feeds? The hand that feeds is daddy government, daddy corporation, daddy rules and regulations. You understand? And when those things start to fall by the wayside, there are a lot of people that don't have in their head an idea of how to survive the machine at all, because they've never had to even think like that. You know what I'm saying? They've never had to think, okay, how am I going to survive this? Yeah, Jay-Z's next. A lot of people were next because they were allowed to be gatekeepers for as long as they were allowed to be gatekeepers, for as long as it served their puppet masters. But now that their puppet masters are having to face consequences, and y'all see what happened in that CEO. That's what I mean by consequences, because the poor always eat the rich in desperate times. And since the rich are scurrying to, get their piece of this next big pie that they're baking, the people that they've used as their gatekeepers, they're going to throw them under the fucking bus. You don't think some of these people's puppet masters didn't go to some of those parties? How the fuck do you think they get access to these people? They get access to them through the gatekeepers being the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, the celebrities. Why celebrities? Because celebrities draw in people. Celebrities draw in people and trust without you having to create it, because it's already created through their aura and through who they are as people, right? If I'm Jay-Z, I can come here to Vegas tonight with not a dime in my pocket and have the time of my life at any hotel I want, just based off my name alone, right? And that means also the trafficking and the drugs and the fuckery that comes with that, right? And so the devils that sit above me, when they want to play, who the fuck do you think they're going to come to have a good time? They're going to come to me because I'm the gatekeeper, right? That was Diddy's problem. And Diddy thought he was untouchable because he had so many of the devil's hands on his shoulders. But what Diddy and people like Diddy don't realize is that devils are not loyal to anybody. And they'll take them hands off your shoulders in a heartbeat and push you right into the fucking fire. That's what they do. And that's what happened to Diddy. And that's why his ass is sitting in prison right now with no bail. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not because, oh, justice is being served and the righteous, it ain't got shit to do with that. They need a fall guy, right? And he's the boogeyman. So if you have a boogeyman, there he is. You don't look into the people behind him. You don't look into the people that made him who he is. You understand what I'm saying? You don't look into the people who funded. I mean, this man was confident enough to get up there and say, we make culture. We make what's popular. And he's right because, and I'm getting to something a little bit deeper. We as black people, we're simple folk. We get real enamored by the razzle and the dazzle. We really do. I do. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I love a good fucking a good song and dance. I love a good fucking jingle. I love a good rap lyric. I love a good fucking beat. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to you, right? But I can't let that be so. I can't love it so much that I lose reason. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can see the action figures. I started Diddy running the jail, dog. I heard, right, but it's because they allow him to. And just because I run a jail, you see what I'm saying? You see how easily impressed we are by that? You're still under the jail. You're still in jail, brother. Just because I'm running, just because I can pass out some moon pies and shit, just because I can fucking have a couple bitches come through, okay, these people still controlling my fate completely. That's that's what I mean. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to you. I'm not saying that. I'm just using your comment as an example, right? It's exactly what Khalil's saying. Don't sell your soul, bro. It ain't worth it. Ain't no amount of money worth it. Like I say, A to Z. You try to get to Z because you have this dream in your head. You can have all of these devils. Like, and we talked about networking earlier. The people that like to network with you the most is the fucking devils. It's the demons. They'll come to you and speak to you when nobody else will. I've been there. I know. I fucking know. When your phone is dry, when you don't have a friend in the world, when you feel like God don't hear you, you know who's sitting up there with you in your fucking despair? You know who's sitting up there really listening to you? The fucking demons. They hear you, bro. When you sit up there praying and you think you praying into the fucking void and God don't hear you, the demons hear you, bro, because they live inside you. They're a part of you. You understand what I'm saying? And a big part of trying to defeat them is surpassing it and not allowing yourself to succumb to what they try to offer you, because they will offer you the world, bro. It comes to you, and it comes to you fast, especially when you're the most desperate. You see it. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to take it. It's easy to take them up on their offer. And a person like Diddy, bro, they just fed them. And we as people, as human beings, what do? We held these people up. We made them into idols, right? That's what we call. We even call them idols. We call these celebrities idols. We call them our culture. We call them that. We gave them that power over us, right? So when they fall deep, we fall deep because we gave them so much power over us. Right? The American black entertainment industry is not black culture. That is not what defines black culture. But for some reason, the two have become synonymous with one another. Yes, it is a very minuscule part of our fucking culture. But as far as like it being what drives our culture, it shouldn't be. But when I'm seeing, let's talk about it. All these provider man videos and shit, it ain't nothing wrong. I'm gonna say this, okay? Let me see. If you don't want something in faith, it's sin. Facts. Hello, I just seen you in a DM about your animation. Okay. Speak for yourself, guys. I don't idolize or worship no one. I tell people all the time to stop the eyelids and fool. Speak for yourself, guys. When I say we, I shouldn't have to be so specific, right? I don't idolize another people either. If y'all watch anything I goddamn say, my issue, and if you want to say the demon that sits on me is wrath, is rage. You understand? That's what sits on me. I don't idolize anybody. In fact, I loathe most of the human race to a point that is unhealthy. So what I pray on is for that spirit, and I've been praying on this since I was young, since I was a teenager, to be up off of me. And that's why I do my best. If y'all ever seen videos of me out and about, I do my best to be as polite and as humane to everybody I come across, because I never want that part of me out. I never want that part of me to come into this world and cause nobody any harm or despair, because in a fit of rage or a moment of weakness to where my demons overtook me, I just let that. And that is not influenced by anybody. That's just influenced by the life that I feel that I've lived, or the things in life that have influenced me. At one time, like I say, when I prayed into the void and I felt that God didn't hear me, something else did, and something else latched onto me very young. I've talked about this before, and that shit don't just let go. It shit stays with you, bro, and you have to pray on that shit a lot. You have to like literally go deep in that. You find what you need to find, and that shit can take you further and further from the light. The more the ugliness in the world that you see, the more that you feel that you are victimized, or that you are, or that you haven't gotten something that you deserve. You understand what I'm saying? I haven't gotten this, and I haven't, just like I started this conversation, these people haven't done this for me, and these people, those feelings, they come up more. You understand what I'm saying? The demons feed on human sin. That is why the bad ones are kept around and do their bidding on this planet until they become useless. Exactly. God has evil angels too. Exactly. Sin is in all of our DNA. It wasn't a choice we made. We were born with it. I mean, we're getting heavy into religion. And I mean, I know when we talk about demons and stuff, it's hard not to. But yeah, I agree with everything y'all saying, though. And it could be because of my Christian upbringing. I don't consider myself to be a part of any religion, but I've seen it myself. I've seen the influence of the demonic forces, but at the same time, I've seen the power of God, right? I've seen what God does. I've seen God has uplifted me. I've seen when I felt like nothing, bro, like nothing, God said, nah, bro, and give me strength that I didn't know I had. So I know that shit is real. That's not fake. That's real stuff. That's there. It's something there. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you can call it this, you can call it that, but I feel that there's a good energy in this universe, and I feel that there is a fucking demonic force that wants you to do fuck shit and get to point Z as easy as you can. You know what I'm saying? By walking over people, by mistreating people and mistreating yourself and doing yourself dirty. All that. I do feel like that. I feel like that, bro. Thank you, Spicy. That's a I don't know, bro. I don't know. I guess I'm a clown. You're right. But one of the things I do want to say, that if you want something out of this world, even from another person, be willing to provide that shit for yourself. Don't expect other people to provide that world for you if you're not able to provide it for yourself, or if you're not willing to put in those sacrifices to provide that for yourself. Going back to the story about the astronaut. I can't just be an astronaut because somebody bestows it upon me. It would have took work. It would have took this. It would have took that in order for me to even get to that point. You understand? Even this, what I'm doing with the animation, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes everything that I have in me to try to make that stuff come to fruition. You understand? Like, and it's hard. It is, because like I said, there's all these distractions. There's all these things you want. There's all these things that you feel like you haven't accomplished. There's all these things that, you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to get in, you have to clock in, you have to be there. You have to, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. You have to, you have to. And then the things that, hey, how you doing? Collab shorts. And then the things you feel like, you're missing out on. Have you ever felt like, and this is where I fall into the deepest pit of despair. And you ever sit there, right? And you think on how many times I know it's just gonna sound funny, but how many times you have left with people, right? How many more meetings you're gonna have with your mom? How many more meetings you're gonna have with your kids? How many more times in this life you're gonna actually see these people, right? And then think about the times where they were in your life every day, right? And you think about that, and you come to the time where you're in now, and those people are so far away. They may not be far away in distance, but they're definitely far away in heart and mind. And I think when I think about that, and I think about how far everybody, at least in my life, has drifted away, there's a profound feeling of despair in me. You understand? Like, that I can't rectify. And that's the only time where I feel like I have to distract myself, where I have to, like, it's hard for me to live in that thought. right? It's a very depressing thing. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, you gotta value yourself, man. I try not to get there, but when you're by yourself, I think that's the biggest thing about being by yourself, and you have these discussions with yourself about who you want to be as a person and where you're trying to get in life, and you think about that, and you think about how far removed you are from the person you was, especially to those people, and how those people will probably always see you as the person that you were at that time, even though there's been, uh, there's been growth, there's been, consideration, taken about the impact you've had on our lives or the lack thereof. They'll never see that because they see you in a moment in time in their mind where you were, right? Not where you are or where you will be when you try to get to the point. See, I know I keep saying that shit. It's hard to do that, and that's why sometimes you have to detach from people, bro, and it's hard to. It is, and I know I made that video the other day about my mom, and yo, and I'm gonna talk about that for a minute, okay? Because I was like, honestly, I've made a few thousand videos over the course of the last 10 years, and that was the hardest video I've ever made. That was the hardest video I ever made, and I had to make it because I had to express myself and I had to see myself express myself for what was going on because I know I'm not crazy. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that in this year, okay, there's been so many instances where I've expressed to my mother, especially, that there's things I needed to do in order to get to where I want to go in life. Like I'm saying, right? There's things that I have to do. And one of those things is I have to be on my own. I have to live on my own. I know y'all see me make the dating videos and stuff. The reason I make those videos and the reason I go on I go on the fucking dating apps and stuff. I haven't, in fact, y'all probably think I'll just be over here bringing girls over here. Ain't nobody coming over here, bro. Look at this. Look at it. This is my situation. I'm not trying to bring nobody over here right now. Right now, my situation is I know y'all see that fireball. Don't ignore that. My situation right now is very pre-production. I have, yeah, that's what the whiteboard is up here for. There's gonna be all kind of notes and stuff up there. I mean, I've been putting them in this like little book for the time being, but I'm about to go real hard on this whole animation thing, and so I'm not gonna have a lot of time to dedicate to being on the phone and trying to get to know people and all that. But with my mom and all that, the very next day after she left here, because she mad because I didn't leave her my key, and when I had to go to work the next day, because I had to be at work the next morning, I had to leave here. Whenever I have to be on that side of town and open, I leave here about 6 o'clock. It's just easier for me to do that because I can get on that side of town. The gym that I'm a part of is over there. That's my side of town. I just know that side. I just deal on that side of town a lot better, And so I get up, I get myself ready, I get out of here. And that day I didn't leave her with the key because when I got home that day, I didn't want to have to be searching for my key. I know how my mom moves. You understand what I'm saying? And that just wasn't what we talked about before she came out here. And she knows that, right? Even to the point where when I paid my rent this week, the woman in the office was like, "Oh, what happened to your mom? Was she still coming to get a place?" I was like, there was some whole other shit with that. So the next day, my mom told me that she ended up in a hospital for her blood pressure, guilt trip. And I was like, "Okay, are you okay?" She said, "Yeah, she's okay." And she's staying in a hostel right now. But that wasn't what my mom said she was coming out here to do. My mom was going to come out here and get the same situation that I'm living in right now. But that was never my mother's intention. And that literally sent me into a spiral to the point where I didn't even think I was going to be making videos for a couple of days. I mean, I'm glad I pulled myself up out of that because I ain't got time to be up there on all that. She's fine. I know she's fine. I know she's going to be fine. But I know at the same time, she's angry with me because I don't want to consolidate my life and be around her in that element right now. I just don't want to do that. That's for me. I don't want to do that. There are things I need to do, right? Even when one of the first comments she made when she came here, she was like, "Oh, so you already put the toys up?" Yes, I pay rent here. I put my toys up. I fucking bought them. I have hobbies. That I'm a toy collector. There's a lot more of them too. This ain't even half of them, right? I just put some of them up because it's this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? What's up? You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, you don't need to go on the dating apps. You're in a good place, my friend. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like you really don't. It's insane. It's more insane than I even remember. The other day, so and I've talked to my female friends about this, and we've had a back and forth where we say, okay, what do you say on the dating apps, and why is it such a bad experience? And so I go over it with what I say, and initially, saying especially if it's like a mutual match, I'll say, hi, how you doing? My name is Jeremy, right? Well, if she's interested, she will respond, right? She responds, right? And so we're not necessarily wasting each other's time. I may pay a compliment or something, but generally I'm like, oh, so what are you looking for, you know, out of this situation, out of being on this app, just trying to strike up a conversation. Some of the responses, sometimes most of the time, actually, you're not gonna get a response back. But the other day I got a response where this woman was like, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. I think you look good. I just want some D. And are you looking to meet up? Let me know if you're down or not. Don't waste my effing time. That's all she said. That's all she said. Now, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that level of forwardness out of anybody. Of course, I didn't. I'm not. That's not why I was on there. But I did think that was a interesting way in which this lady came to me. I have no interest in it because that back and forth trying to get to know somebody thing, I'm not interested in it. Like, and if I'm not interested in it, at the end of the day, why would I be trying to like really talk to somebody? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I have to tell myself, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's just the lonelies, right? You sit up here, let's say on the weekend. Last night was Saturday night. I'm here chilling, you know what I'm saying? Playing Fortnite, you know what I'm saying? I actually won a couple matches. I got a couple crowns this season already because I ain't got shit else to do, right? But then you sit there and you think, all right, you could be on the phone, you could be out and about, you could be out and mingling, you could be. That's what I think to myself because I could. It's easy to do it. It's just I think about it, and then at the end of the day, do I really want to do it? No, I don't. I don't really want to do it. Like I really don't. Of course I desire to do it, but at the end of the day, I don't want to do it. I don't want to bring people over here. I don't want to be obligated to, express my life outside of like obviously YouTube or mostly YouTube because TikTok's going away. Fuck TikTok. But mostly here, I don't have that desire, right? So it's like, well, is it just a booty call? No, it ain't a booty call because I don't want no booty. Like, oh yeah, I do. That's stupid. Now I'm just lying. Now I'm just on here. Now I'm just on here lying to y'all face. All right. Of course I do. But to keep myself from getting in a situation, right, or a situationship that's gonna take me away from doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. Because once again, going back to that point A to point Z, this is part of the process of getting myself to point Z, right? This is part of the process of getting myself to the next level. Whether or not it's successful, whether or not it's viral, that doesn't matter. Once again, it's the experience that I'm putting myself through in order to learn how to do these things that will last me into my next project. If I do start to network with people that are similar minded, that need the type of skills that I have to offer, that want to, do some things that want to work with me. Hey, there we go. I have this knowledge that I've created for myself, as opposed to going off, tricking off at the bar. You know what I'm saying? Being a thought, getting somebody pregnant by accident, ended up on more child support. I mean, that's what niggas do, right? That's the game. That's the plan. That's what happens to a lot of niggas that are not self-conscious about where they want to be. Because it's like, yeah, you could have ladies adore you, and it's very easy to be like, okay, all right, but at the same time, when you start really thinking in your head, you like it's stuff that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? These ladies are looking for a provider, bro. And that's fine. That's great. That's fantastic. They want a nigga that's gonna come in, pay their bills, and on top of that, pay his bills. I'm not that dude. I can't do that. I can't provide those services. I'm not built like that. Now, in the future, if I was able to do that with somebody, or somebody was able to build me together or help me get to that point, and we're doing, oh yeah, absolutely, or we work towards that to where, okay, maybe our finances are like, what they say, 50-50 at first, but eventually it gets to the point to where I can take care of everything. I have no problem with that. But coming out the rip with somebody that hasn't invested in nothing that I'm fucking doing right now, and they think that they're telling me that, oh, I'm supposed to come and just take care of all of their problems, is insane to me. And it's not me being mean, it's not me being misogynistic, it's me calling out that there's a lot of entitlement being just thrown around. The ladies that are being provided for, trust me, if you look at each one of those individual situations, there's something that that woman is providing or something that that woman is doing that is keeping her in that situation that makes that man want to provide for her, especially when it's years after years after years. I promise you that girl ain't in the club every day. I promise you that woman ain't shaking ass on OnlyFans. I promise you that woman is taking care of the kids. I promise you that woman is making sure that man is eating every night. I promise you whenever that man needs to express himself, he can go to that woman and express himself without her saying, oh, this nigga is soft or this nigga is lame or this. You understand what I'm saying? I promise you he can cry in front of that woman if he needs to, because she sees him as that and is the provider. He wants to give that to that woman. I know that I would. When there's a woman that does that for me, I don't mind fucking sitting up there saying, oh yeah, I give you everything. I give you all my check. There's no problem. But when you come in off the rip and you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this, you shaking ass, you talking about having sneaky links, you talking that shit is crazy work to expect that I'm supposed to just be like 100% dedicated to that and I'm willing to just trick off. You understand what I'm saying? And even just on the get to know you phase, right? I'm supposed to trick off to get to know you. I can't even we can't even just go someplace let's take this city for instance, right? This city, there's a lot of places to go for free. There's a lot of places to go for free, and y'all can spend money once y'all get there, if that makes sense. There's a lot of places to go. I don't know, I know most cities ain't Vegas. This is Vegas, though. This is Vegas. So it shouldn't be pulling teeth to go somewhere to drink. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't, because there's a million things to do. You can go, there's a million fucking things to do in the city. But there's this expectation of this and that. And bro, ain't nobody tricking off like that, because bro, I don't mind tricking off like that on you if we together and we planning that shit. And that's because at that point, to me, that ain't tricking off. That's investment. If I'm taking my girl on a nice date, right? That's me investing in her. That's me doing something nice for somebody I love and care about. Me trying to get to know a girl and I'm taking you, because some of these restaurants ain't. I was looking at some of these menus. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody about to pay no $80 for an entree. Are you serious? For that amount of food? Like, that's crazy. You think $80 of food is like that? Nah, bro. Some of them portions ain't looking too good, but that's where we want to go. That's why I have to take you to impress you. I can't do that, because then at that point I feel like I'm being fake to you, because I don't eat like that. Look at my refrigerator. Look at my cabinets. There's literally a can of ravioli and a couple burritos in there. That's how I eat. Where is it? This is how I survive 2 days of this. 2 days, okay? This is how I eat. So when we go, and if I'm treating myself, I may go to White Castle. I may go to freaking Dirt Dog. I may, because it's right up the street. I may go up there and get something, right? Because it's convenient. But as far as me going, out and about for somebody I don't know, I don't want to do that, because I want to create a memory. See, right now everyone is. Oh, let me see. Let me go up. I'm sorry, y'all. We're built like that. We're built like that. We're just not there yet. That's not being mean. Be a fool to give, and give with no return. We die alone, married or not. True. That's true. A friend of mine is going through the same thing. He said coffee date is a thing of the past. Yeah, and it shouldn't be, because it don't even have to be. Here's the thing, y'all, because a lot of women say, I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. Okay, I get that. I didn't like coffee either, so I get that. I literally understand it. Let's go get something else. There's a million things that we can go get. We can go get ice cream. I don't like ice cream. We can go get anything. I just want to sit there and get to know you as a person. I just want to literally pick your brain. You can pick my brain. We can see if we like each other or not. And if we don't, we go our separate ways. It's dope. It's that simple, right? And if we do like each other, we can plan a second date. Now, in the second date, this is just me. I'm willing to trick off a little bit more. I'm willing to be, okay, let's go here. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking to you. We didn't got on the first date. I get the vibe. I know that we can mesh together. You know what I'm saying? We can go and do that. My last girl, I started to love her. And you as a man, when you love somebody, I loved her when we were in a movie theater. I was looking up, she over here just cracking on the movie. The theater's fucking cracking up. And I was like, this girl is fucking dope. Had nothing to do with nothing. Just being in a fucking, just a $10 movie was enough for me to be like, yeah, this person is somebody that I don't mind being around, because this person is the complete opposite of me. I wouldn't sit up here and be making a spectacle in here, but it was hilarious to me. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, but and it had nothing to do with, oh, she's dressed like this and she got this. No, it was her personality. She was a good person. That was it. You know what I'm saying? I had a can last night. I had a bag the other night at a cow. I'm telling you, them cashews be hitting. They be getting me from point A to point B. I say I had like my $15 budget a day. I got that $15 budget a day. These are about $5, almost $6 right now. And then I eat at work, like especially if my boss is not there. Most of the managers there don't give a shit. If you get sued, you could just be munching all day. But when my boss is there, everybody be kind of sneaking. So I don't eat as much when she's there, but when everybody else is, when she's not there on those shifts, I be fucking grubbing. And so I'm able to keep my budget down. How do you cope with loss? I don't know how to cope with loss. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not good with coping with loss. I separate myself from everybody, and I separate myself from the emotions, and I don't want to deal with them. And then I'll sit there, I'll lose myself into video games, I'll lose myself into modeling. And what I mean modeling is the 3D modeling. The modeling takes more time than the actual animation itself, and I'll literally make real complex things that'll take me weeks to do, where I'm not thinking about nothing else but that, so I won't feel. And that's not healthy. When I say coffee date, I don't actually mean just coffee. I mean somewhere cheap. Yeah, I know, Scott. That's what I'm saying. Like somewhere, like me personally, mostly someplace where y'all can talk. How do you know you're gonna like this person? How you gonna know you're gonna like the way this person smells? How you gonna know you're gonna like the way this person's swag is? How you gonna know, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of person, if you talk to me, I can, initially, I don't have a mask, right? It's not a filter. You can ask me a question, and depending on what the question is, it may trigger me to just go on a whole, just like I go on these rants on these videos. I've done it on dates many times. So you can literally get who I am real quick, because I'm not going to hide who I am. I'm not going to hide my opinions about things. I'm not going to sit there. I can't. It's going to be written all over my face. It's hard, right? The only time I really mask is when I'm being paid to mask, and that's at work. I go to work. I'm Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I avoid political conversations. I avoid sexual conversations. I avoid conversations about relationships. I serve my customers. You know what I'm saying? I do what I'm told to do, and then I come home. That's what I do. But when it's out and about, or if I'm out for leisure and we're getting to know each other, I'm not going to mask around you. I got a stud pregnant. I need help. Some people would say you one of the lucky ones. Some people would say that you one of the lucky ones. You 3D model as well. Amazing. Blender. Yeah, Blender, Travis. That's what I learned. It became therapy for me at one point. Serious question. Do you think AI is going to replace us as 3D artists? Travis, I do. I really do. But I think that, oh man. That's a good question. Yes, I do. And one of the frustrating things is, once I started getting into, really being serious about 3D modeling, all this AI stuff jumped off. And then you started seeing all of these videos and some of the stuff is really creepy, but right now it all seems very random. But obviously over time, as the technology gets better and better, because it's already working quick as shit. Yeah, it's going to replace us. It's going to replace all of us. Absolutely. That's why, as with anything, you have to have a love for it. You have to want to do it because you want to do it. And I know that's hard to say, because maybe like somebody like yourself, you get commissioned a lot, right? Because a lot of 3D artists get commissioned. I don't get commissioned, but there's a lot of 3D artists that get a lot of commissions, right? I can understand how that can affect their business in the long run, because look what happened with logo making and all those type of things are gone. Web design, gone, because you can have sites, you can have AI models do it for you without ever hiring somebody to do it for a fraction of the cost it will cost to, you know what I'm saying? And those graphic filters, they're no joke, you know what I'm saying? because in most states everybody wears masks because everybody's putting their first. Yeah, that's true, and it's hard not to wear masks, especially when you really like somebody. Yeah, I agree. I actually think it's detrimental to completely ignore AI. It's replacing a lot of jobs and industries. We need to adapt. We do need to adapt always, and that's what I'm saying. I don't look at it as like the end all be all. Just because, like somebody made the analogy to me, they said just because the printer came out, don't mean that calligraphy stopped. Don't mean that people stop drawing comics. Don't mean that people stop, all that stuff. Stop using pencils. It's truth. And, fucking printer came out over 100 years ago. People been drawing, people been writing. They haven't stopped doing it. It's just that what you use the tools for. You know what I'm saying? Because if you even think about it with something like Blender, for instance, every few months they update. Every month there's a million different plugins that make tasks for the artist or the creator a lot simpler, right? So you could like literally look at it and say, okay, the more these add-ons and plugins that come out, it's taking skill away from actually learning what you need to do. A perfect example, right? With me, I like using the effect of lightning, right? But when I originally started using Blender, there wasn't a lot of plugins that had the lightning effect, so I have to learn how to do it. But now there's a ton of those, add-ons. You just do the lightning effect, and you can change it and all that stuff, and it looks really cool. So I just use those. But the skill, people say, well, the skill is lost. No, I say no. It makes my workload easier because here, instead of me taking an extra 5 hours or so to try to figure out how I'm gonna do this lightning and wrap this lightning around this thing and do all this other stuff. No, I can just use this plugin and just do it. It's done in a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Even if I have to pay, the creator for the plugin. And see, that's a good. You said adapting, and then I'll get off this because I know a lot of y'all are into this, right? For as far as adapting, as far as on a 3D level, and as far as game design and all that, one of the ways that people can adapt is by making the add-ons and creating the plugins and stuff, because I buy those a lot. Like I do. I buy anything that's going to make my workload easier. That's not going to take too much away from the creative process. I don't mind spending I don't mind spending a few dollars on, because some of these things literally save you days in fucking in creating things. So I think that's a way to adapt, because the artists that need those type of plugins and stuff, especially when you sell them in packs or even asset packs, those are always good ways to make money and adapt to AI, because AI, like I say, is at the time being is very random. It does require a sense of using this and kind of piecing stuff together in order to put together a project that you really want to do, as opposed to using somebody like yourself or myself, to where we could just they can talk to us directly and tell us what they want, and then us as the creator can figure out how to make that come to fruition. You understand? With an AI model, a lot of people still don't know exactly how to write the prompts, and I even think that that's a good way. I think that would be a good little. I'm giving y'all some free. I'm about to give y'all a free book. I think a good little book to sell on Amazon right now is AI prompts, like ways to get the AI to create things that you want. Because a lot of times when I need to use AI for certain things, I don't know what prompts to use. Some prompts are better than the others. Some prompts to create some brilliant works of art. Some prompts, the AI is like, okay, this is what you said, and technically it is what you said, but it's not like kind of like what's in your head. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You said not in your lifetime you're not going to be worried about AI. I am. I'm very worried about AI. I think that the elite. Have you ever played Roblox? That's where I got my interest in 3D modeling and game development. I still need to go back into that stuff. I've never played Roblox, but my kids were into it, and my ex's daughter was very into Roblox, so I know all about it. I think it's an interesting game, to say the least. You had me earlier when you said my mental problems cancel your mental problems. It's the truth. But yeah, that's all being focused. But I don't think you can expect somebody to come into your life, and if your life is in shambles, if you can't pay your bills, which a lot of people can't, I'm not judging nobody for that. If you can't keep up your lifestyle, you can't expect somebody, man or woman, to come into your life and do that for you without you offering that person something that's worthy. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to even just deduce it to, because I always say this in my videos, like, some pussy or some box. I'm not even reducing it to that. I'm just saying, even as a person that's going to pour into that, like I say, into that man, that's going to make him, that's going to inspire him to do better. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, for instance, you come across athlete, a semi-pro athlete that's on the come up. He making a little bit of money, he getting a little bit of burn, and you come into his life. He likes you as a woman. You know what I'm saying? He can, at that level of his career, afford to pay your bills, and like I say, he likes you, so he don't mind doing that. What are you going to bring that person? You know what I'm saying? What are you offering that person that's going to make that person's life richer? This is what I think a lot of these ladies that are making some of these provider man videos don't ask themselves, because that's what I would say. Because if I meet you, like, I've met a million pretty women, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're dope. Great. A lot of them smell amazing. But what beyond that is going to make, like, this conversation I just had with Travis, better conversation than I've had on, like, fucking most dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what enrichment, right? Because I want to enrich you. If you want me to enrich you, like, we got to enrich each other, bro. That's it. Like, and I know in my videos, when I make my videos, sometime I come off as very angry, like, and I be worked up, and I think it makes for good entertainment. A lot of times I really don't care that much, so my language be real coarse. But honestly, I do give a fuck about the younger generation of women being taught that their aspiration should be that of just finding a rich husband. I think that's selling them short. I think that these young ladies can do a whole lot more than that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't get them a husband that's on that level. I'm not saying that they shouldn't aspire to do something, but to put into these young ladies' head that they should wait on this husband, or that God should deliver them this person that's going to make their life better without them putting in the effort. Like I said, this A to Z process to get themselves there is fucked up, especially when you're talking to your daughters. You know, and some of these moms are not telling their daughters that. It's just the example that they have seen. They've seen that their moms have only dealt with men in a transactional way, right? And so that's how they're going to deal with it, right? They've never had a father figure around to see that the utility of a man goes beyond a pocketbook, right? And that protection and provision isn't about just the fact that he can carry a gun or he has muscles, he could beat somebody up. But protection and provision involves keeping your mind right, so that you're not, you're not fixated on selling yourself and turning yourself into an object for the bag. Because like I said earlier, a lot of young ladies, they're here at point A, they want to be at point Z. And it's very easy for young ladies to take a shortcut from point A to point Z. Very easy. But when you get to point Z, are you fulfilled as a woman, right? Like, are you fulfilled as a woman? How much of yourself did you have to sacrifice to get there? Because I've talked about this before, and I'm talking about it again. There is a whole movement of women that are promoting selling pussy. It's called 304 Talk. And I can't wait for them to ban TikTok for that type of shit. They selling these young ladies on the idea that if y'all want something out of life, you sell pussy. That's what you do, right? Because you're gonna be selling pussy anyway, right? You're gonna be selling pussy to your husband. You're gonna be selling pussy to, somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's an Instagram. I'll put up my Instagram in a little bit. I haven't shared my Instagram on here. I'll put my Instagram up on the community wall in a little bit. But there's a whole group of, and they telling these ladies like, yo, that's what you do. And these young ladies are hearing this. And what I mean by they're hearing this, I can hear it in their language. And it's, once again, you're turning yourself into an object for a man, right? And I'm not saying that, bro, you want to be somebody yourself. You know what I'm saying? My friend earlier, I was talking to her about this. She said, think about all of the shows that we grew up on, like, especially like the black shows. They all had, both of the parents had jobs. There wasn't this concept of, oh, we weren't doing 50-50. No, both parents were working. You feel me? The Huxtables, Bill and Claire, they both had jobs, bro. They were working. You know what I'm saying? Martin and Gino both worked. Like, I don't understand this thing where it's like, and it's like I say, and if one person gets to that level to where the other person don't have to work, great. But I would want to be with a woman. Not saying that she wants to work, because if she don't want to work and I'm able to take care of her, great. But if she's not working, I do want her to have a passion about something, to where if I come home and have a conversation with her, she like I say, she's feeding me something beyond, like, some coochie. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, you know, maybe she's into gardening, right? You know, I may not be into gardening. She may not be into action figures. Great. But when she speaks on gardening, she speaks on it with passion, with knowledge, because that's what she's into. I would love that. That's great, right? She's into that. She don't have to work. That's what she has something that she's doing. She's pouring life into the world. That's great. But some of these ladies don't have that, bro. They don't have that. I'm not saying you have to be a gardener. I'm using that as an example. But I'm saying even, I like to wear dresses. I like to fucking do my hair. Anything, any goddamn thing, bro. You know? And then this is the funny one. So many people say they hate the patriarchy, especially ladies. Y'all hate the patriarchy. But this, what I'm saying is that's the patriarchy. When you give yourself to your husband to take you on as a dependent, which is nothing wrong with that, and he's making all the decisions for you, that is the patriarchy. So don't say that you don't want the patriarchy when a lot of y'all are celebrating the patriarchy right now, and gender norms that have been established throughout all of human history that y'all claim that y'all don't want. These are the gender norms that the man is supposed to be the provider, right? 100%. Great, right? So when that man comes to you, right? And I said it in one of my videos, and like I say, I come off as crass, but I said, if I'm providing everything and I tell you to shut the fuck up, I mean shut the fuck up. I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to do that. I can't even win those type of arguments with women because they just going to like laugh in my face. But that's what I mean. If I'm providing everything, right? That type of attitude may sit with some men. Some men may say that you can't. I don't want you talking to your friends. Some men may say, I don't want you going here. I don't want you pursuing a career. I don't want you having a hobby. I don't want you having a part-time job. I would never be that man. I don't give a fuck what you do as long as you ain't out here hoeing. You could do whatever you want. It's your life. I'm not your daddy. But if we're a partnership, one thing I do expect for you is to be home tonight, right? You know, and at some point, you know what I'm saying, want to touch me and feed me some goddamn food. You don't have to cook it. Just make sure I'm satiated as far as the food situation. That's what I require. Now, if you want to be a fairy in the woods with your friends, right? I don't give a fuck. That's your prerogative, right? If you're a good person, I trust you because you're my lady. If I can't trust you, I'm not gonna be with you, right? If I have to look through your phone and shit, I'm not gonna be with you. If I feel like, oh man, I never know what she's got. I never know what she's never telling me. That's not a person I'm going to be with. So I'm never going to worry about that, because the moment I start worrying about that, I'm already out of the situation. I can't. When niggas be having these videos where they didn't caught their woman a whole cheating, and he's like having a whole conversation with her about like why and stuff, and trying to break down all the situations that they done been through. That couldn't be me, because it's like, you've already shown me what we own. Like, why would I even like sit here and be having this conversation with you? Like, get the fuck out. What are we talking about? That's me, right? And it's not because I don't feel for you, it's because I feel more for myself. And I'm not gonna let somebody take advantage of me like that, right? And neither should you as a woman or anybody else. So if you decide, I gotta get with this provider man, some provider man gonna say, hey, I'll provide everything, I want some butt on the side. What do you say in that situation when this man, you haven't poured into your own cup? You don't have finances. You don't have an education. You don't have hobbies. You don't have a life of your own. Everything about you is this man. So this man says to you, I want a polygamous relationship. I want to start this family on the side. What do you say about that? He takes care of everything. No, what you say is you're going to get online and you're going to say that he's financially abusive, that he's a narcissist, and all those things can be true. But that is a risk you take when you get with a person that's going to literally sit there and tell you that he doesn't want you to work completely. I don't care if you work. If you want to work and make your own money, you can do that. If I could take care of everything and I'm able to do that, great, right? But if you want to help me plan our vacation, if you want to help me buy our home, if you want to help me pay for these vehicles, guess what? I'm going to have a lot more respect for you as a partner than if you just see me up here fucking struggling, trying to do all this shit on my own. Right? I would have a lot more respect for you as a lady. Not saying that I would require it. I'm a man. I don't, it's hard for me to, as men, it's hard for us to judge y'all on just that alone, right? I say, oh yes, a lot of these ladies are bums. I'm being funny because I'm jabbing, but we don't inherently see y'all like that, right? We understand why y'all want provision, because it's, like I say, it's a part of human history. This isn't nothing new. But if you're going to sit up there and watch me struggle trying to get to point Z and you're not going to help me, bro, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? If 8 a.m. late for dinner, you're out, cuz. I agree with you. When you dated one, you want a woman that has a hobby or passion of something, you don't want to boring. Right. And I don't think a lot of ladies even realize that y'all are kind of boring. That's the thing too. That's where my interest has always lost. If you're super boring, I don't know how to continue the goddamn conversation with you. And that could be the little touch of autistic part of me. But if you're not feeding nothing back to me, if it's just all surface level that, oh, you look good and you smell good and oh, this food is good and oh, have you ever been here before? And it's just very surfacey. And when I ask you a question about, so like, okay, like, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? You know what I'm saying? Like, what has been like, some of your life's best. You can't articulate that or what you want to do in a few months or like, what do you do in your spare time? That's why so many women get mad at these questions. Like, what's your hobbies? Like, what do you do? Like, as a person, like, what do you do? Like, besides work, besides take care of the kids, what do you do as a person? What do you do? It's not a hard question because you do something. Even if you told me, oh, I'm on TikTok all day, man, I be looking at these lives and they be fucking crazy. Okay, we can have a conversation. That's a conversation that's very easy, right? It'd be like, I'm just here. I'm that tree you were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Who's the gray dude peeking behind the couch? Oh, this, I don't know if you're talking about him. This is the Hulk. And this is, my ex bought this for me when I was with her. And then this one, my mom gave to me last Christmas. Yeah, my mom still giving me toys. Ain't that crazy? So this is Gogru, his name is. Baby Yoda and Little Hulk. I normally don't buy plushies. I don't buy plushies myself. Most of my toys are action figures. But the ladies in my life at the time decided to give me some plushies and I accepted them. Grogu, yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I accepted them. But like I say, it ain't nothing for a woman to ask, okay, I want this provider. But y'all got to think about it. In another culture, right? When a young lady is being presented to the men, right, for courtship, right? Because it's in a lot of countries, in some countries, there's more arranged situations, right? They're presented for their attributes and what they're going to offer that man. Not just the whole childbearing situation, but sometimes you'll see the lady playing music, all this other stuff, to be like, yo, I do this, I do that. This is what I'm going to bring to your life. You know what I'm saying? Only here in the Western world have we come to this entitlement thing where I don't have to do shit for you, but be a woman. That's crazy, bro. Like, no, that's not enough, bro. That's not enough because men are going to treat you like that. Don't sell yourself short with that. But I think that brings me to them banning TikTok. Every month they have this type of discourse, okay? This whole man versus woman discourse comes up in some way, shape, or form. It was the man versus bear shit. It was the brick lady shit. It was, what was the other one? I mean, every month there's a new one. This month it's the provider man, the mortgage situation. I can't pay the mortgage. The provider man argument. Every month there is a trend that strays us further and further away from God. Like, and it started so simple. It started with the crate challenge. Y'all remember the crate challenge? Niggas was killing themselves getting on these crates. And then every month after that, it just started being these more like these social experiments. Because the man versus the bear ones, where I realized, I was like, nah, this is a psyop. There's something deeper to this than just, oh, a random video went viral talking about who would you rather be in a forest with, a man or a bear? That's stupid. That's just that's fucking the concept alone just makes me want to pull my face off. It's insane, okay? But people talked about it ad nauseum, right? On Twitter, on fucking YouTube, on fucking TikTok. It was the talk of the fucking town, right? But now we're talking about this whole 50-50 shit. This, I'll never go 50. That's it. It's like every month that nigga, the TikTok nigga in the CIA building is coming up with the fucking social experiment that's going to make people be distracted from the fact that there's drones flying around New Jersey for no reason. Drones. The fact that the economy ain't looking too good. The fact that Trump is about to get into office and literally deport people who were legally born here because their parents came here legally. These are all things that's about to happen. That's the next episode. The episode is this is the end of an episode. You know, you got alien. You know how like at the end of a show that you're watching, sometimes they'll have a cliffhanger thing, right? So the end of this episode, what I mean the episode being the last 4 or 5 years, right? The pandemic, the alien shit, everything that's happened since then. We're coming to this crescendo, right? You know, the old dude being in office for so long, this last presidential situation. We're coming to this end of this episode. Now we're getting the preview for what's to come with the next episode, right? So you get these drones in New Jersey that look like manta rays with plasma light. Look, just looks fucking sci-fi-ish. Okay, we get it, right? So I think this is setting us up for Project Bluebeam, because I'm telling you what they're gonna do, right? Right now they're telling y'all, because it ain't no reason for them to start telling y'all that aliens are here now, in my opinion. This is me. I don't think that they don't care about y'all enough to do that. They don't care about us enough to be like, yo, there's aliens, right? I think that they feel that in order to keep us distracted, they have to come up with their next plan. So what's the next plan? Like I told y'all before, it's the Watchmen. Fake an alien invasion. Fake it. Just fake it till you fucking make it, right? Or even fake a false god, a false messiah. Oh, look, it's you know, so and so. They're coming down and they're telling you that you got to submit to your government. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it seemed like they set it up for me, right? For the next episode. Then you got this whole deportation thing and the fact that people are going to be very disappointed that the economy is going to be in shambles regardless who's in office. And the fact that the illusion of one man being able to save this sinking ship is going to hit people like a ton of bricks in 2025, right? So you got to start setting people up with these distractions. And right now, the easy distraction is, hey, are you going to deal with a provider man? I don't want no man that ain't gonna you know, only pay half the bills. And I am going to say for the men that don't offer, here's the thing, bro. I do got to say that I do got to criticize the men that don't offer no solutions in that situation. That don't even check her, right? If your woman come to you and say she can't, y'all already worked out how the bills are being paid. And she come to you and say, I can't pay the bills this month, or I can't pay, you know, the situation this month. The first thing you need to say to her is, okay, what happened? Why? You know, because a lot of these ladies are saying they spent the money on Black Friday. I'm like, okay, why the fuck would you spend the money on Black Friday? Why would you spend the rent money on Black Friday? That's the first question. That's the first question you need to be asking that woman. Because you expecting me to pay the rent. That's the arrangement we made, right? I'm going to pay the rent. So if I come to you and say, hey, I bought a fucking Thanos action figure for fucking, you know, or a Sentinel, because they have these Sentinels that are expensive as shit. I bought a fucking X-Men Sentinel, right, with half the goddamn rent money, and you like, why would you do that? I'm like, because look at it, it's dope. You gonna have questions, right? Because it's my responsibility. So if you come to me and your responsibility has been to pay the mortgage, you tell me you ain't pay it, I'm like, why? First off. Number two, guys, that's when the gears should start turning. How are we gonna get this rent money? That's what I'm gonna say. Well, what we gonna do? What do you suggest we do? Since that was your responsibility, what do you suggest we do? Not saying that I wouldn't have some solutions, but y'all start working it out together. I know you're on camera. I know it's like a prank and all that, but no solutions whatsoever is crazy to me. No reaction whatsoever to y'all ain't got the rent paid is insane. No reaction to the fact that the lady that you with ain't got her half is disheartening, bro. I can't defend it, because even if you don't have it, there has to be, the gears have to start turning a little bit. You got to get yourself out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You look like Dave Blunt. Let me see. I can't relate at all. I don't want to. Exactly. But Gina, I know and that's the thing too. And I got to speak on the women that are out here fighting for their fucking life against like this type of nonsense, because there's a lot of, most women, I would say 80, 85, 90% of women, they don't think like that. They only want somebody decent in their life that's going to make their life easier, just like men want somebody in their life that's going to make their life a little easier, and they come together. That's most women, swear to God. What we see online, guys, is the entertainers. We see the loud people speaking, and that comes to the top. But just because it's just like the small, minute people that usually the people with the loudest voices speak for society, regardless of whether we like it or not, right? And yeah, like Gina, I've seen so many women get online and plead their case as to why they want to be how to put it, they don't expect nobody to come in and be Captain Save a Woman for them. That ain't the concept alone is like, well, what if a nigga's not there? What if something happens to that nigga, right? What if anything can happen to them, and if I don't have my shit together to a certain point, right? And it's not about being, oh, I'm Mr. Independent. No, it's just about being a fucking adult. How the fuck do I expect to survive in this world? So many women are making this case right now, but them women get buried, bro, under the women that are talking the most shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say it's a psyop. That's why I say, like, things like TikTok, where you can put out quick content, is great, because it's like one of my number one sources of entertainment. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But I understand the detriment that it's having on the psyche of some people, bro. It's fucking crazy. It is. It's the crazy person in the class that didn't get a lot of attention coming to the front of the fucking class and saying the most egregious fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree they with that 50-50 shit. The problem with people is they worship Trump as a messiah to save America. This is nonsense. Yeah. I mean, for any man. But yeah, especially for Trump, like, and that's a good portion of my followers on TikTok always have been, is the right, which I have a lot of conservative, because y'all label everything, right? I have a lot of conservative beliefs as far as like things, and I know that offends people for me to even say that. Like, you're a conservative? No, I'm not a conservative. Like, but I do have some conservative beliefs about some things. Absolutely, I do. I'm not gonna sit here and front with you that I don't. And those things do translate through my content. So a lot of my following be a lot of the right-wing people. And one of the things I have noticed from them is that, yeah, they do expect Trump to be this messiah. You can't worship two gods. You can only worship one, right? You can't, and they don't understand that. Like, and I don't try to express that to them because they'll see, right? Men are going to always disappoint you. Any man that you follow will always disappoint you. Little Peep? I'm sorry, but I don't even know who Little Peep is. What happened with him? If you tell me a situation, I know the situation. Was he a young rapper that got shot? My goal is to build up so much masculinity it blows things. Like Super Saiyan and shit. You get into Ultra Instinct and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so masculine. My jawline is so square. I'm like the old Batman the animated series show and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just a psyop. But in what is it? January 20th, they said TikTok is going away. So I don't think you'll be able to download it if you have it on your phone already. It's there. I would say that if you are a content creator, especially on any other platform, use TikTok as a gold mine as far as getting, content and stuff, because it's there. You know what I'm saying? Go there to get all these personalities while you can, because after people are not able to download the app, it's going to slowly die, like Vine. It's going to slowly die because you won't be able to download it on none of the stores after the 20th. It'll be gone, and they're not going to update it. So they have a replacement app, which I knew they were going to do. It's called Lemon 8. Lemon, like the fruit. 8, the number. And I guess that's going to be their replacement for TikTok. But somebody said something that I wholeheartedly agree with. They said there's a difference between TikTok and YouTube creators. And I've done creation on both platforms, and I agree with them. And they say that people that create content on YouTube are creators. They take a lot of time to make videos. They take a lot of time to upkeep their channel. You know what I'm saying? To, do their best to try to foster a relationship with their audience. They do. And that's the truth. So, just one of my random vlog videos, I put way more effort into just one random vlog video than I do in any one of my viral TikTok videos that's ever gone viral. And I've had videos that have been seen by 4 million people on there. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just me getting on the camera, talking some shit. If y'all ever seen my shorts on here, those are some of my videos from TikTok. I just pick the goddamn camera up, say some shit, put it up, and leave it to the algorithm of whether or not it'll go viral. And the thing about TikTok that makes TikTok addictive for a lot of people, and especially for myself over the last couple years, besides, just the scrolling, is when you were a part of the creator program, every 100,000 views is $100 essentially, right? So when you're getting these videos at 200, 300,000 views every couple weeks, that's 200, 300, $400. You know what I'm saying? For one fucking video that you just randomly uploaded, you didn't do any edits. You just talking your shit. You're talking about whatever everybody else is talking about. You go viral, right? And you make a little bit of money off of it. So that's why people get so addicted to that type of platform. And plus it's so fast. But the problem with it is you don't really foster an audience. You don't really, there isn't no cohesion there, because you're going to constantly be scrolling. Y'all are going to constantly be on the same subject matter. You're going to constantly be talking about the same things. Whereas when you're on your YouTube channel, you have to explore outside of what everybody else is talking about and kind of delve into things that are not necessarily, you don't have to talk about your personal life per se, but you pull from things out of your personal life in order to upkeep content. Because most content creators on here that take the platform seriously on YouTube are making at least 2 videos a week, right? 2-3 videos a week, some of them. Some people do this shit every day. You know what I'm saying? Like myself, I do vlogs pretty much all the time because I like to. I like to film. This is my favorite fucking hobby, is making videos. This is my favorite hobby out of everything that I do. You know what I'm saying? I love the 3D modeling. I love collecting toys, but making videos is one of my favorite things to do, y'all. It really is. It is. Rams won, dude. Can you say happy birthday to my little brother Dixon? See. You almost got me. You got me. The thing with TikTok is you make enough videos, you'll get more than that. Eventually, I say with TikTok, I mean, I know it's going away next month, but with TikTok, everybody goes viral. If you making videos on there every day, one day, you're gonna get a video that everybody's gonna see, or the right person is gonna see, and they're gonna either react to that video or they're gonna share that video, and that video just gets shared around. What was it? In October, the video I did about Obama, it was all on the news, on Sky News and shit. It was all over the goddamn place. It was all over Twitter. It was crazy. But you don't see, as a creator, you don't see that. Like, people tell you, right? But if I'm not in those circles, I'll never see people, I have to literally go look it up to see, oh shit, they did use my video on a news clip. But it's not the first time. They used, the very first time I went viral on TikTok, there was this girl in the military. She was a sergeant, and she decided, I'm not gonna go into it because you can't really talk about 2020 and the events of 2020, but it involved the events of 2020. And she was in her uniform as a soldier, saying that if we don't, comply, that if she got the order, that she would be kicking in doors and making us do what they were trying to make us do during the time. And I responded in kind. And that was my very first viral video. And when it went viral, because a lot of people agreed with what I was saying, the military's job is not to uphold a dictatorship or I can't go into it. Oh my God, I want to say this so bad. I can't. There's things you can't talk about on YouTube. I hate that about the modern internet. There are literally things I cannot talk about. I just can't talk about it because then I won't even be able to keep up the vlog. But she got into that, and I said that the American people will respond in kind, which we was, because I know I was in crash out mode from 2020. No, I would say from 2021 to the end of 2022. I would say to the beginning of 2023, but what they were talking about, they're gonna make us do, and what that wasn't gonna happen with me. And for her to get up there in her uniform and say what she said, I said what I said, and the shit went viral. It went super viral. Like I said, that video got about 4 million views. And there was a lot of people in the military, because she ended up getting reprimanded for that. And after she got reprimanded, there's a lot of people in the military that contacted me and asked me to take the video down, which respectfully I did. I did take the video down because they asked me to. They said she got reprimanded. Some people would have said, no, just keep it up, blah, 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 blah. I did get a few threats from niggas in the military, which I don't take kind of threats. If that's how y'all want this shit, I'm ready to end it whenever y'all ready to end it, is how I responded to that. But that was my first viral video. But the thing I took from that was you don't be prepared for. I had to turn off notifications. It actually made it to. That's why I don't have on notifications now for a lot of stuff. The notifications don't stop. It don't. It just every second, every second, every second, every second, you're getting a follow, you're getting a like, you're getting a comment. It just don't stop. So you have to turn off the notifications. If you go in and read the comments, it can do one or two things to you. It can inflate your ego, or it could make you feel small, right? It depends on what the consensus is, right? And that's when you start to realize, dude, there's something deeper seated and never in human history were you able to, as a person, be seen by so many people randomly, right? There have always been setups to that type of thing, right? Even the video I had last month that went viral with Obama, I know he saw that video because it was all over fucking Twitter. It was all on the goddamn news in other countries. So I know he saw it. And to even think that, it makes you feel like, oh shit, like maybe I need to shut the fuck up sometime, because you don't expect that people will take a piece of your content, right? And then just blow that shit up beyond the platform that you're on, right? And you're just talking shit, right? You talking shit. You mean what you mean. You mean what you say, but you realize that you're talking shit about some powerful fucking people too, right? And you talking shit about powerful people. When those people see that shit, those people your life is already, you know what I'm saying? You already struggle out here. You know what I'm saying? You don't think Obama and people like Obama can't get me knocked off, and they won't even have to do that. You think they would take the time to even risk that? No, they can get me fired from my job. They can get me deplatformed. They give me all kind of things can happen. That's why some videos that I would really like to make. I had a channel right before I started Machine God Eats called In This Dystopia. It was here on YouTube. It started growing. I think I got it up to about 800 followers. Okay. And then YouTube started striking. And the videos were not, I was just talking about what the fucking government was putting online, what they were saying, what the CIA was saying, what they were doing, the contradictions in some of their stories about the moon landing and all kinds of stuff. And YouTube did not like that shit at all. So I realized, I was like, okay, there are certain things you have to dial back from. You could talk about conspiracies, but when you start hitting certain things right on the head and you start sending people in a direction, they don't necessarily want that. And when you become an aggregate for what the government, because here's the thing, y'all, this is what a lot of people don't. The government redacts a lot of information. They don't, I ain't gonna say they don't lie, because they lie their asses off. But how to put it? They more so hold information than lie, right? So when they put the information out there, the information is out there. Sometimes it's so unbelievable that they know that they can just put it out there because most of the public is not gonna read what they're saying. Like, this can't be real, right? And when you start literally looking into like CIA documents, you start really looking into what the government puts up. And I got really into that, especially like I said, between 2020 and 2023. I started looking into a lot of what the government was saying. And I was like, I can't believe what they're saying. And so I started talking about it in these videos and putting these videos up and doing these like almost documentaries about what they were saying. That channel didn't last. They took that shit down. You can only talk about certain things, and you have to talk about it on a superficial level. That's why I do the brain rot videos. That's why I talk about relationship stuff. That's why I talk about just regular society stuff, because those are the things that people are into. Those are the things that the machine will allow you to talk about. But when you start poking and prodding behind the idea of what reality is in itself, they want to discredit you, because there's power behind that. I swear. You know, I don't see people talk about what they need to talk about. People have said that social media has become so, if I talk about it, I'm invisible. People can read me. I'm amazed. Robert, he won. Move on. Scott Punk, I'm not even a patriot to begin with. Does that toy soldier, that's what they are. People fear to face the government. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I'm intrigued by them. You know why I'm intrigued by the government? I'm intrigued by the government, especially the United States government, because the United States government is so I hate this word. I know the word, but it's hard for my mouth to say it. Compartmentalized. There's compartments of the government, right? And each compartment knows something that each hand does something that the other hand doesn't know, right? And it's like it seems like chaos in a way, right? You have all of these different 3-letter agencies. Then you have the shadow government. You have the people that do stuff that are part of black projects and things that are not on the official books. All of these different things work together in order to keep this empire going, right? But sometimes these projects and some of these budgets that a lot of the money that we are paying taxes on, this shit comes to the surface and you see what the government is spending money on. And you say, if the government is literally spending money on this, right? Let's say like remote viewing. Let's say like, you know, a lot of the different things that you don't really think is real, like real lucid dreaming, astral projection, the ether, the element, the space between spaces that Tesla talked about so much. These are all things that the government have done extensive research on using billions of fucking dollars. So there has to be something to it. And when you start looking at some of their papers and you start like really digging deep, you're like, okay, there is something, once again, to putting out affirmations into the world and making things come to fruition for yourself, because you manifest things into this world. That is a real fucking thing. You can't manifest things into this world without like literally believing that shit. Like you literally have to believe you're that thing, that you're going to be that thing. And the actions that your life takes like leads you to that because you believe it so much. You become that person. You just are that person, not because you trying to trick yourself. It's because you literally believe that. I started to believe that because I saw CIA documents that said there's a conscious field that we live in that's right here. That's the physical world, that we aspire to these physical things. There's a subconscious world, right? That's the dream, the astral world, where, you know, abstract thought comes into being, and you know, we think of things that have not been, right? And then there is the ether. There's the space that just creates all like matter and life and things. And we as conscious beings can manifest things out of the ether into this reality. That shit I read in their documents. That's what they say. You know what they're saying? They said there's some truth to that shit. So if they spent billions of dollars behind it, I believe that there is some truth to that. And in my life, I've seen that there's truth to that. I've seen that there are days when I wake up and I feel like ass. And I mean, I feel like ass spiritually. I feel like a mean ass person, right? I go out into the world, a mean ass person. And guess what happens? The world treats me as such. It treats me as a piece of shit because I'm going at the world, treating the world as a piece of shit. But there are days sometimes I get up and I'm full of joy and I'm full of happiness, and I go out there and the world still treats me like shit, and the bus still passes me up, and you know, my bike still goes on the flat, and all this stuff happens. But as long as I keep that attitude, the day is still okay, you know. But when I go in there with this fucked up attitude and then the day's fucked up, everything is just you know. But if I go in there with a positive attitude, no matter what happens, I go at it and just say, okay, I can deal with it. But trust me, there are days where most days I'm the former. I feel a terrible person. I feel like I'm just like, people ask me questions, you know, randomly, like, you know, what's about your bike and this, and I'll be like, rolling my eyes and huffing and puffing because I'm like, why is these random people talking to me? That's just how I am sometimes, and I don't like being like that. It's just I'm sometimes I'm cranky. You know what I'm saying? Their treatment of us as mirrors our treatment of them. We used to have 2 feet of snow before Halloween. Yeah, now we have none. It used to be cold in Halloween. Now, yeah, all that. CERN, all that. People believe that reality is being fucked with by these people. Could be. We don't know. Our only perception of reality is based on the bodies that we occupy, right? Like our senses, our 5 senses that we know about, 6 if you count intuition. I say, real quick tangent, you can always test your 6th sense based on tension. Have you ever walked in a room and 2 people pretended like they wasn't fighting, but y'all knew that they were fighting? That's your 6th sense. Boom. But you have these senses, right? And those senses are here on this planet in order for you to take in the information that you're supposed to take in as this creature. But there are other things here that you're not meant to take in, but they don't mean that they're not there, right? They don't mean that they're not all around you. It's just that God made you to see what you're supposed to see on the certain light spectrum. You're supposed to hear what you're supposed to hear. As far as your ears, you can't hear certain things that are subsonic and all that, but that don't mean that they're not there. They're there. There are things that exist within the shadows, that exist between light that we just can't see. Some animals can. We can't. We're just not made to. That don't mean that they're not there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, our subconscious mind is on another level. We don't know the true depth of it. We don't. And the more people make fun of people for saying manifestation, right? Manifestation. The reason I think that a lot of times make fun of those type of people is because 9 times out of 10, when you hear people pushing that, they're trying to sell you a book or a course, or that's how they're manifesting. They're manifesting their money by using it, by you buying their course. But there is truth in that. There is truth in that. If you sit here and you tell yourself, "Oh, I'm out of shape," and that's all you do. You don't do nothing else. So you just accept that as a person. I'm out of shape. You're gonna be out of shape. But you say, "I'm out of shape because of these choices. I'm not gonna be out of shape no more." From that moment on, in your mind, you're not an out of shape person. Physically, yeah, you may be, but from that moment on, you've already changed the trajectory of your fucking life, because you're about to take every step to make your the physical manifestation of what you want to become to reality, right? And that goes from every level. That goes onto a subatomic level to all the way into your fucking DNA. And some people have precursors in their DNA that make them rally more than others, but we all have it in us to get past the hurdles in life. We do. You know what I mean? I'm big on energy and manifestation. It's real. Your thoughts on the whole United Healthcare situation? What are your thoughts on acid? Never tried it. I'm afraid to try. I'm talking about the United Healthcare situation, but let me talk about psychedelics. I'm afraid to try psychedelics because I'm afraid that I won't come back. So that's my thought on that type of thing. And I don't judge other people. Like some people have told me that like certain psychedelics wouldn't make me trip so hard, but I know myself to a point that there's places that I would go that I won't come back from. And y'all know what I mean. There are people that don't come back. I wouldn't come back. I wouldn't. The person that I would come back as wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be me as I am. And I like to be able to be grounded to this reality just a little bit, because if I let go even slightly, I don't know if I'll be able to get myself back. You said not fun. Nowadays people are not so fun. The 80s, the mescaline was nice. Oh, you talking about that hard shit. But yeah, that United Healthcare thing, I think people's reaction are justified. A billionaire, bro. A billionaire. Somebody said you can go back 8,000 years and save up $10,000 every day up until now, and you still wouldn't have as much money as Elon Musk. You got to really think about that. You got to really think about that shit, bro. Right? And United Healthcare being a organization that denied 34% of its healthcare claims. I'm going to say this because I have to be careful, y'all, when I'm speaking on this. Everybody does. Because my desires, okay, I am Robert Paulson. He is Robert Paulson. The assassin is right. And if you know who Robert Paulson is, go back and watch Fight Club. Go back and watch that whole fucking movie, okay? Just go back and watch it. The person that Tyler Durden, the people that Tyler Durden represented in that movie, I am part of that crowd. I am the server. I am the fucking person that cleans up the fucking world. I am the person that gets nothing. And I'm saying, I don't feel like I don't get nothing. I get a lot out of just living, but I am the person, I am the wage worker. You understand what I'm saying? If I get sick, when my teeth hurt or my teeth fall out, I don't have replacement teeth. There's no teeth back here. I have I don't want to show y'all this, so gross. Teeth back there. No, look at that. No teeth. No teeth. Right? So what do I chew on? I just chew on nubs, right? I don't have no insurance, right? Okay, in the richest country in the world. And I have to I can't, we just had open enrollment at my job, for instance. But if I do open enrollment to get my teeth fixed, I can't pay rent. And then I'm living on the street again. You see what I'm saying? You see how it works, right? So imagine you have a loved one that needs a treatment, okay? And these cocksuckers get off by denying their claim, okay? And let's say the person dies. Let's say the person is suffering. Let's say, I don't know if y'all ever seen somebody dying of cancer. I have. I've seen it. It's not right. God should never allow such a thing. I've seen it. Okay, so imagine that's your people, and you see them dying like that, and the healthcare company wants to deny any comfort that they can get in this world before they transition, and then they die, and then you get a fucking bill from these fucking demons on behalf of that loved one's estate. What do? I'm surprised more people ain't crashing the fuck out. You heard me? I'm surprised more people ain't crashed out when these motherfucking CEOs are sitting high on the hall. Oh, I gotta buy an extra yacht. I gotta go to Dubai. I gotta have a tower. You feel me? So when motherfuckers crash out and they use the gun to equalize things a little bit, to show to y'all motherfuckers that y'all immortal, that y'all money can't protect y'all from every goddamn thing. And if anybody knows who he is, no, you don't. You don't know who the fuck he is. Examples need to be made. Y'all want change? Let's be real for a minute. Y'all want change? Y'all ain't gonna vote change into this world. Y'all not gonna get y'all piece of the pie that y'all have worked for, that y'all parents have worked for, that y'all grandparents have worked for without violence. This is the only thing that these people. I can't say it. I'm on YouTube. Oh my God, I'm about to go there. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? The only thing that certain people in this world, the powers that be, have ever respected throughout history, throughout all of human history, look it up, is violence. That's it. That's the only thing they respect. You can, we shall overcome. But when there's a threat of violence, when there's a threat of death, when there's a threat of their precious legacies being touched, then we're gonna pull back on some stuff. We're gonna start, advancing some of these claims and making sure some of these no, it needs to happen a lot more, because these motherfuckers are playing in our face, especially with this economy. Y'all were just talking about AI earlier, right? So even when you have high school, look how many younger people, when I say younger people, I say younger than me, I say mid-20s to late 30s, got into tech because the generation above them told them, okay, you get into tech, you're going to be able to have this life. And all these motherfuckers got laid off. So these motherfuckers helped build this current engine, this current internet, this current web 3.0, whatever the fuck you want to call it, this whole AI model. They helped build it, right? And then you lay them off, because now that they built the model, they built their replacement, you lay these kids off, and there's no future for them, because most of them thought that they were going to be the high labor market of the world. Because think about it, it's the early 2000s. You're seeing this whole tech boom. You're seeing the birth of the fucking iPhone, all these mini devices, the apps, everything. Of course, that's what you want to get into. You don't think in your head that within less than 20 fucking years, they're going to be robots replacing your goddamn job. You think it's a high skilled job, but no, there's robots now. They're going to build the apps for you. What the fuck do we need you for? So we lay you off, right? We lay you off. But how I just spent all this time trying to get to this point, right? So the American dream was a fucking lie. This is how these kids are seeing it. It was a goddamn lie, right? And God forbid you get sick. God forbid somebody you care about gets sick. Because if I get sick, I get sick. Okay, I can endure, maybe. But to watch your kid get sick, to watch a parent get sick, to fall off, and then these niggas, you watching record profits, and you watching, bro, it's hard not to crash out. It's hard not to stalk. It's hard not to show up at a motherfucking conference meeting in the beginning of the morning and letting that thing sing. I'm just saying, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. Like, I'm surprised it don't happen. Like, people say, the politicians, them are clowns, bro. Those are clowns. Those are fucking court gestures. Those are clowns, bro. We're run by the corporations. We're run by the corpos. We're run by the corporations, bro. Everything that affects your life is the corporations. Those are our masters, bro. These politicians, they just see what they can get from the corporations. That's the game that they play. That's what all these lobbyists and rubbing elbows and all that fucking dirty shit's about. But America, the empire itself, America, is made up of a series of different corporations. Mostly two corporations that own, almost 2 or 3 corporations that own everything. BlackRock, Vanguard, and it's one other one. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God, it's two words. But these companies own everything. They own everything. Every bank, every store, every piece of merchandise that come through this motherfucker. Now they about to start putting, Trump said he about to put tariffs on everything. Nigga, look at anything that's in your house. It's from someplace else. So if there's tariffs on everything, everything's about to go up. As if niggas got money right now. So how are we going? Well, it'll work itself out. There we go with that Republican trickle down economic shit. When has that ever worked, right? But people believe in that. So we about to see. And I'm saying, let it. Let's see. Let it go. Let's light this candle, right? But either way, we were going to have to face this reality. Whether Kamala got in, whether Trump got in, it's all a fucking game that we all got to play. Don't limit yourself to thinking you are American. You could say a world being. You could say, it's hard though, man. I'm going to tell you why that's hard. It's hard to be a world being because the world don't accept me, right? And y'all can say that America don't accept me, but America, here's the thing with America. America's a lot of things, but there's been nothing in America that has actively prevented me from doing nothing that I've wanted to do, if I'm being honest with you. Nothing. There has been nothing in this world that I have wanted to do where me being a black man said, oh, no, you can't do that. Nothing. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened to other people, but for me, it hasn't happened. Anything that I've ever wanted to do, I've been able to do it. Y'all just saw, like, okay, I'm living on the street. I'm supposed to fall off, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not going to fall off. I'm going to figure some shit out. As long as I keep working, I'll be fine. Keep working. It's not the ideal situation, but it's the situation that I can build from. America allows you to build from nothing, bro. It literally does. Right? It's like I can go from my station being quote unquote a peasant to a king. You understand? That's the beauty of this empire. That is something that no other fucking place has afforded people to do. It's the truth. I can honestly say that about this country, but it does come at the behest of the suffering of the endless fucking war and taking and bro, do y'all know why they want us to get into these wars? Because that is our industry, right? When America goes to war, our economy does well. What do we export? You say, limit yourself as an American. I can't take that responsibility off of myself because I know that because I'm able to, even as poor as I am, like I say, dinner, right? As poor as I am, I'm still living. My living situation is still better than most people on this planet. I can never forget that. Even when I was sleeping out in that park, right? With my sleeping bag, my living situation was still better than most people on this planet. Thank God. I see that. I see the blessing in that. And no, I go anywhere else in the world in order to prove my mettle. You understand what I'm saying? I have to be from a certain family. You understand what I'm saying? I have to have a certain resource. I have to have, not here. What we say earlier, networking. I can serve a rich nigga at my restaurant tomorrow, and that could change the whole trajectory of my life to where I surpass his fortune. Only in America, bro. Right? But like I say, that's on the backs of so much suffering around the world. And I can't take that responsibility off myself as an American citizen. Solution, focus, stop playing, and push the unit. And y'all got me today. Y'all got me with the universe until we become tortured for 2 decades by the Raytheon dude, probably. They're gonna cannon fodder a lot of niggas out just like they did during the Iraq war. They're gonna have a lot of people sign up to go to these conflicts, and a lot of people ain't gonna come back, or they ain't gonna come back right. They're gonna use a lot of people for cannon fodder. That's the point. That's what America does. That's what we always do. That's why we interject ourselves. When you see what's his name, Anthony Blinken up there talking about, oh, we got to go over here and do this and protect this interest. When they mean to protect our interest, they mean protect the money. And they're gonna send whatever sold over there that they feel like sending over there. They're gonna do it. And there's not a goddamn thing. Here's the thing, bro. Because I know firsthand, when they want to come get you, if they want you to go to their war, they're gonna send you. Like that, you get what I'm saying? If they want you, and when you get over there, right? Or if your kids get over there, you're only gonna be on one side. The other people over there ain't gonna look at you as a world citizen. They're gonna look at you as a fucking American imperialist, regardless of your skin tone, regardless of wherever the fuck whatever you think about the government, regardless of whether you're Republican or Democrat, the rest of the world gonna look at you as an American imperialist, right? And when your government sends you over there to die, or when they send your kids over there to die, the rest of the world don't see no difference. You understand what I'm saying? And the only thing you can really pray for is that you can either hide them niggas, or we can avoid this altogether. But from what I'm seeing, like I say, based on the next episode, we're not about to avoid a motherfucking thing. We about to go headlong into World War III, right? As designed, as you know. I mean, think about it, bro. 2025 is the perfect time for a reset, right? Because when you think about it, what else is there to do besides burn the world down and start it over again? Now that you have your robots, now that you have your AI systems, now that you have the model to start the new world, what else are they going to do? What else are they going to do? If I was, y'all think this is about money. It's never been about money, bro. It's always been about blood. It's who controls the bloodlines. That's it. That's it. And now that we've come to this crescendo, right? Now that we've come to this point, it's time to cull off the lesser bloodlines. That's what this is about. When they say reset, that's what they mean, right? If you can't serve the machine in a way that they feel is profitable, in a way that they feel is a benefit to whatever fucking empire that they're trying to build going forward, you will die, and so will your bloodline. It's the fucking truth. So you can beg them for everything. You could beg them for healthcare. You could beg them for humanitarian. You could beg them for universal income. They put your ass on universal income. You know what comes with that? Just like I was talking about the provider man earlier that controls all the finances, that can control what you do. If the government puts us all on universal income that controls, let's say there's not these other corporations that we can sell ourselves to. That's essentially what we do. We have the freedom to sell ourselves to whatever boss we want. We can go get this job or this job or this job. So we're slaves, but we get to sell ourselves essentially. That's the life we live right now. But if the government gives us a universal income, this is what happens with that. They tell you what goes in your body. They tell you what you can have in your house. They tell you how much content you can consume. They tell you what you can eat. They tell you what you can drink, or they cut the fucking spigot of money off from you. Just like they do with welfare, just like they do with food stamps. You have to jump through certain hoops in order to keep that. They give you a universal income. That's what they do. They control you. This is all about control. And at some point, you're going to realize that they don't give a fuck about you, bro. And whoever's at the top, whatever bloodlines at the top controlling everybody else, they don't give a fuck about you. It's going to be survival of the motherfucking fittest. So begging them for any type of mercy is futile. It doesn't mean anything. You have to be strong enough to endure. It's coming, whether we like it or not. There's no stopping it, bro. There's no stopping this reset. I used to think, oh yeah, we could talk about it. We could do this. No. There is no, when they told us that they're about to reset the world. They told us. They're not hiding it. They told us. They had whole summits telling us what they're about to do to this planet. Did they not? Did they not just tell us that they're about to give us 15-minute cities and cyber this, and that the old world has to go away for the new world in order to come about? And by 2030, most people will accept that concept. They told us this. They're not hiding it. So how do you think we get from that point to this 2030 point that they want us to have nothing and be happy about it, right? They have to take everything. They have to take you through a tribulation. They have to call off enough people for them to have absolute fucking control to say, this is what the new world looks like. There has to be enough people that are gone to not remember the old world for them to write the new world that they want, like they did before and before and before and before. Y'all think this is the first fucking time we've been here? Y'all think that the pyramids just came up because it was niggas dragging rocks? Y'all think that all of these monuments around the planet just appeared? No. Humans have been technologically advanced many times fucking before. And some despot or some fucking empire decided, yo, it's time to do this. And boom, like nothing, they sent everybody back in the Stone Age, retaining the knowledge for themselves in order to, fucking pave a way for whatever fucking future that they want, controlling the bloodlines like they always have. Now, y'all can sit up here and say, okay, well, the aliens are coming out, they're going to probably help us. And how do we know that they ain't coming out to help these bloodlines call us off? Like maybe they've done it before. We don't know. We're all in the dark. What if the aliens that are coming out of the ocean are not aliens at all? What if they leaving? Right? What if they leaving the planet because they about to heat this motherfucker up and boil us like crabs in a goddamn bucket, and then a motherfucking thing we can do about it? We don't know. The only thing that we know is that we have each other, right now in the time we have. And if like I was talking about this whole consciousness thing as a collective consciousness, maybe some kind of way we can come together. But no, there is no coming together because of all the distractions, because of the 50-50 conversations and the you don't make this amount of money, and there's no getting past this situation. They won. And the only thing that we could do is endure. That's it. And it's always been like that. I understand it. It sucks, right? I pray to God, and what I hear back is to not be afraid. I can't be afraid. I'm gonna die anyway. I'm not gonna survive this. I was never gonna survive this. Never. There was never gonna be a scenario where I was gonna get out of this reality alive. It's just that when it wasn't part of the deal. From the moment I was born, I was destined to die. Now, to what end? You know, maybe if I'm lucky, that would be it would be something that is worthy of helping the people that come after me. Or maybe it's something that is silent, you know what I'm saying, and peaceful. And it just was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's something horrific and violent. Who knows? That's the excitement of all of this. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that our society is falling the fuck apart. It don't look like it, but it is. It really is. It is. And they're going to feed y'all information about aliens. They're going to feed y'all information about gods. They're going to feed y'all information about this to have your mind going here and there and there. When the whole time they just trying to like putting sheep in a pen. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They like leading us into like this slaughter situation. And I don't know how to deviate off that path. I know I'm on it. I'm going in the pen with y'all. I'm going right there with y'all. And then like I'm sitting up here with solutions and saying, this is what we got to do. And I'm captain of this. And y'all, no, I'm not. I'm going right. I'm a sheep too. I'm going right in there with y'all. And I don't know how to turn around, but I see that we're going into the, I see we're going into the slaughter. I see that. When you got the fucking Russians, okay, and I don't know if y'all saw it a couple weeks ago, them dropped that intercontinental ballistic missile on Ukraine, and how it just looked like a fucking video game. It lit up the whole sky, and they dropped these missiles out of the sky. Now, these missiles are now nobody was able to detect the missiles even coming out of the fucking sky. They couldn't detect them. They were so fucking fast. And did you notice each one of those warheads can house 8 nuclear missiles? Oh, I'm live. There we go. See, I'm talking about the wrong shit. So with that being said, my handlers are grabbing me by the collar. I'm going to get off of here. I appreciate y'all. You know, we're all literally born into a game, and we're taught the wrong rules by our parents in schools. D. Jordan, they taught us what they could, right? Just like we teach our kids what we could, they taught us what they thought reality was, right? With the limited information that they had. So they didn't have the internet. They didn't have access to government documents. They didn't have, you know, the zeitgeist or the community to have these conversations with like we do now, right? Like we can sit here on these lives and we can shoot ideas across from each other, and we can have these debates, and it expands our minds, whether we agree or not, right? Like you don't have to agree with anything I'm saying. I don't have to agree with anything you're saying, but it's just the fact that we're engaging, right? Like we're shooting ideas off of each other. We're having these concepts. Our parents and our grandparents, they were limited in their ability to do that because they were only around the people that they were around, right? You know, when they went to college, yeah, they were able to expand their minds for a little bit. Maybe they went to the military like my parents did. Maybe they were able to, you know, expand their minds a little bit. But at a certain point, they came back into their communities, and the scope of their communities, they were playing off of each other. They believed in the same gods. They believed in the same ideals. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't shoot off of, you know, with my dad, for instance. My dad worked in the steel mill for 40 something fucking years, right? That's what he did. That's what my granddad worked in the steel mill for 30 I think 40 something years too. So my granddad and my dad worked in the steel mill for 40 something fucking years. That's what they did. That's what the generation did before I came along, right? But then we're living in this time where that's not like a thing. You don't get. I would love to work at one job for 40 fucking years that I can take care of multiple households and all kind of shit. But that ain't what it is, right? It's their lives served them at the time. We live in a situation where we got more information fed into us on a daily basis than sometimes our parents did for an entire decade. We get more shit fed into us, and sometimes it's just literally just shit. Sometimes it's just we don't even need to be taking in this, but we taking it in, right? And we learn. We can learn about the financial thing. We can learn that all these companies are owned by 3 companies. We can learn that the government has done X, Y, and Z without going to a library and looking up a certain book. We could just literally type it into a search engine and the information comes up, and we're able to sift through, thousands, hundreds of thousands of hours of fucking information and content that can educate and enlighten us on things that our parents then, and especially our grandparents, didn't have access to. So I try to forgive them for not knowing things. I don't think that they taught us wrong. I just think that they taught us what they knew and what served them. They had no idea that they were birthing kids into a technological revolution. You understand? Like, even when my son was born in 2002. I didn't know that I was birthing a boy or a child into a technological into a whole different, I didn't know how to put that, a whole different paradigm, right? That within his life, things were going to fundamentally change so much that the world, I wouldn't even be able to recognize the world that he was born in is not the same, right? It's different. And that's only 22 years. And there's no way for me to think that and prepare him for that, because I didn't know. And so I can only imagine that our parents didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get him some grace with that, because they got up and went to school just like we did. And then their government brainwashed them just like they did with all of us to put their hand on their heart and say their pledge of allegiance, right, to a government, right, which they still do to this day. And most people don't find it weird when you take that out of school. Some people say, oh, you don't take that out of school, that's part of our country. That's indoctrination. Listen to what it says. I pledge allegiance to the flag, right? You're pledging allegiance to a country, to an idea, right? They do that from the beginning. That's what they knew, right? And that's what they put in us, right? And to a certain degree, I put that in my kids too. But it came to a point where I started telling them not to trust the government, right? It wasn't the same. It was different for me because I understood. I started to see things that didn't make sense to me, and that the life that my parents taught me was a real thing wasn't necessarily a real thing. You understand? It was different. Come out to Wisconsin. Their parents fought World War II. I'm old enough to remember post-World War II culture. Maybe you're not. No, I'm not old enough for that. But coming out of a great war too, there was a lot of hope and optimism. You had cultures coming together for the first time. America from that point on, from the 50s to the 60s, started dealing with racial issues that wouldn't have ever been talked about in open forums before, because there was a sense of optimism about the future of America. Shit, even in the early 2000s, for me, I'm a millennial, there was a sense of optimism about where the world was going. It seemed like things couldn't get more dope. It seemed like from before 9/11 and shit, like things were just getting so fucking amazing, right? And then you had all this technology coming out. You had the internet starting to pop off. You had MySpace. It was just like, what the fuck? You had like little MP3 players you could put like thousands of songs onto. We went from literally CD players where you had like, 12, 13 songs to like whole MP3 players where you could have your whole playlist song. Shit was just getting amazing. Then all of a sudden you had all this social shit started happening. You had all this social contagion, all this fucking nonsense. They started consolidating websites into these, different spots: Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, YouTube. Everything started getting consolidated. So the uniqueness of the internet started to disappear. Even now with content creation, y'all will probably notice that it's very rare for people to get up there and speak as candidly as I do, because they be worried about losing money. Because you do lose money. Like, I cuss so much that most of my videos don't make a lot of money, because I get yellow dollar signs and shit because I talk my shit. And it's hard for me not to talk my shit. But a lot of creators are not going to talk the way that I speak, because you're going to lose money. If you up here cussing and shit, you lose money. When you up here talking, when you talking that talk, yeah, you can grow an audience that are for that, and you can make money off of that. But if you want to maximize the bag, like most people do, that's why y'all notice that most of these big TikTokers and big YouTubers, they don't cuss in their videos. They'll blank that shit out because that affects their money. It affects the, so people say, well, there's not authentic creators on YouTube no more. There are. It's just they don't get pushed as much because you can't control us. We're going to say what we're going to say. If you're going to demonetize me, you're going to demonetize me. I'm going to still make videos. I'm going to still get up here. YouTube can literally take, what is it? So far, like on here, I made a few $100s. Okay, great. I'm proud of that, right? They can take that money and guess what will happen? I'm going to still get on here as long as they allow me, and I'm going to still make videos because, like I told y'all earlier, I enjoy making videos. I enjoy it. This shit, I'm gonna make videos whether there's money incentive there, whether there's not, because I like making videos. You feel me? I was thinking about the cassette tape and CDs today. Are you serious? Like, right? You aren't asking to learn anything. You wish to argue. Maybe you give real talk that people need to hear. Thank you. Therefore, I don't argue with people though. I don't know if you've been here. I don't argue with nobody. I don't argue with people on YouTube. I don't argue with people on TikTok. I say what I say. And if people feel like I'm saying something that they don't agree with, they're free to argue all they want in the comments. I don't come down there arguing with y'all. I let people say whatever they want to say. I don't argue with nobody. You have every right to, if anything on this that I've said tonight is offensive to you, you have every right to be offended. You have every right to disagree. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to try to change your mind. None of that. I never got on here and do that. This channel, Machine God Eats, I speak my mind and my opinion, and I put it out there. Now, people could, like I say, people are free to disagree. That don't mean I'm going to like them less. That don't mean I'm going to block them. That don't mean I'm going to go back and forth. Y'all have not seen me debate not one person on this internet. I don't do that. I do not debate people on the internet. I don't do it. I don't do back and forth and take a mind. Like I say, I've had a big enough TikTok to where people have reacted to my videos. People have made negative videos about me. I let them. That's their right. People see me and get annoyed. I get annoyed sometimes. I've been scrolling and I see myself and I'll be like, not this dude. So I get it. I would love to get a farm. Now you in my head, Elliot, because I was just saying that to my friend yesterday. I said, my ultimate goal is I want me a little piece, and then I'm gonna get off after this, y'all, because I gotta go and I gotta eat more than cashews in my life, y'all. I gotta get some food. I said that my ultimate goal isn't to have a mansion and ain't to have fancy cars. My A to Z. Z for me is having a nice little farm with a few acres, maybe a few goats, some chickens, a garden. It would be technologically put up. I would have me a nice little fucking setup, like a good portion of the house would be dedicated to all my little figurines and shit, because I love figurines, y'all. I do. That's like my favorite thing. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to y'all. Like, I get a toy. The man child in me, that part of being a little boy, it never went away. It just didn't. You know how like you grow up and you be like, done with toys. I'm over it. Now I'll sit up here and play with them, but I never lost the love of going into the toy section, and it just never changed. It never left. It's just from the time I was a little boy to right now, 42 years old, the first place I go to when I go into the store is the toy section to see what they got popping. But I want a farm, and a house don't even have to be that big. Just a nice little house. You know what I'm saying? I don't want, I want enough acres to where I can oversee the land. I wouldn't mind having some wood that surround the land, you know what I'm saying? So I can have like a little bit of privacy. My closest neighbors, I wouldn't mind if they were like, I could see their property too. But yeah, a nice little farm, man. That would be great for me, because every day I would get up, I would, tend to the motherfuckers, feed my animals, make sure everything is tended to. That would be my work. And that's ideal for me. And I think that life for me would be so peaceful that I wouldn't be into the geopolitics stuff. I think most of my content, especially because I still make videos, I like make videos, would just be about my farm. It literally be my farm and my animals. If y'all don't notice about me, I love animals, like a lot. Like most of the videos I see, the two videos I see most in my algorithm, believe it or not, are animal videos and superhero edits. Those are the videos I see. I love animals. So yeah, some goats, some chickens, maybe a horse. I wouldn't mind having a couple horses, and yeah, go from there. I think that's good. But according to the powers that be, That ain't they want to get rid of farmers, and they want to get rid of people that want that simple type of life. They want us all, jacked into the matrix. They want us all in these city centers and these 15-minute cities, you know what I'm saying? Living this life, but I don't want that for myself forever. I want to be free, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they have AI to make comments. Sometimes America needs universal income. Wayne, I said why I'm skeptical of universal income and why I'm afraid of it. I do think people need a little bit of money coming in just to be able to get to the next point. If they could put if I had a universal income, you take them on. This is coming from a person. I have to piece together my rent every week. Okay, I pay weekly. I'm in a suite. I pay weekly, and I have to make sure, like that money's together. And sometimes I'm not gonna be able to eat as much, but even then, I know that if I was getting a universal income in my situation here and the way the world is now, would that help me immensely? Yes. But I also know that the government would require things of me to keep that money, right? I may not be able to own as many guns as I do. I may not be able to, move the way that I do. The government has requirements. They may say, okay, we want you to do this. We want you to do that. That's why I'm skeptical of it. I'm not against it. It's if you didn't have to do all of the extra shit to maintain it and keep it, then I'm for it. But I know that the government would want me to move. I would have to do reports. I would have to report this. I already don't even like reporting my tips to the government. Sometimes me and the people that come into the restaurant, especially the older people like to hand me cash. And almost every time they do, they say why? Because they don't think that the government, just like I don't, why should the government tax those tips? Why do I even have to report this shit at the end of my shift? But I do. I have to report if they gave me cash to the government. Shouldn't have to do that. So imagine if they're also giving me a universal income, they gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? I like with the insurance. I showed y'all my teeth earlier. That's so that if I had to pay into the government healthcare, I wouldn't see none of my paycheck. So paying rent here wouldn't happen, right? My teeth would be good, but then I'll be out of the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I don't know. It's ideally universal. If universal income was ideal, at least in my mind, it would work. Like, yeah, let's say you're an adult. Let's say everybody got like $1,000 a month for whatever reason, right? It wouldn't cut into your other money. You could still be an entrepreneur. You could still, if that was the case, everybody gets $1,000. Rich people, poor people, everybody gets $1,000. If that was the case, absolutely. That way, nobody's left out. There would be no excuse for nobody. And at least you would know on a very fundamental level that everybody is getting that $1,000, right? So you'd be like, how come you don't have no money? You can't find no place to stay with your $1,000. You can't find nothing to eat with your $1,000. So yeah, I mean, I think it would seem like it would put people on an equal footing. But what's the difference between 0 and 1,000 when everybody gets 1,000? Because if everybody's getting $1,000, then it kind of becomes like parity with 0. Because now everybody's getting $1,000. Everything is going to start. The basis is going to start at that level because everybody has that. I don't know how to. I'm not smart enough to articulate that. I'm sorry, I'm not. I get it, but I'm not smart enough to articulate what I'm trying to articulate. If everybody's getting $1,000, $1,000 is not $1,000, if that makes sense, right? If everybody is getting, and it sounds fucking crazy, but it's the truth. Like if everybody's getting $1,000, $1,000 is not $1,000 because of the system that we live in. Ideally, it should be, right? If everybody's getting $1,000, $1,000 still should be worth $1,000. People should still be able to use that $1,000 in this current economy the way they do. But as we all know, America don't work like that. When you rig the game like that, let's say you do the game like that, they're going to change the monopoly game in a way to where that $1,000 isn't $1,000 no more. So if everybody's getting $1,000, $1,500 or something like that, they're going to rig the system to where that universal income don't feel like universal income no more. You're going to feel like you're back at square one. You're going to feel like you're back at the beginning of the board, right? That like even on the basic level. Let's say I'm just going off. I'm just saying. Let's say the average rent price in this country is $1,200 right now. If everybody's getting $1,000, the average, that don't mean that the average rent price is going to stay at $1,000. The average rent price is going to go up to $2,500. Does that make sense? Like that's how that works in this country. That's how the system is set up. You know what I'm saying? You only get $500 a month. Well, or five, or even five, anyway, even if it was a $500 a month, they're gonna make it so that that 500 don't feel like 500. That's how they do it. Wayne, I agree with you. I've had this conversation for hours with my homie Risto about universal income. Me and him have had shouting matches about this universal income thing. So trust me, I'm with you. Like I want it, but I also understand that there's like other shit that comes. They never just give you money, bro. That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth, Lord Jesus, thou shalt believe in. The only real currency should be backed in gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but I do agree with you. Like, I take in mind, if I got $1,000 right now, that would just that puts me through the moon. That's like, oh, $1,000, I'm good. I could pay my rent for the next fucking 3 weeks. I don't have to worry. Like that, absolutely. Like, but I know that the moment that happens, then my rent from that's like right now I'm paying what $325 a week here. That goes up to, $425. It's just this system is rigged like that, man. I hate that because I do think, I live in a neighborhood right now where I see a lot of destitute people. Every time, and I've told y'all this, every time I go into that 7-Eleven, somebody's asking me for something. Yesterday I went in there, the dude asked me for $1. I didn't have $1 on me because normally I give people money. I don't have a lot of money, but I give people money still. I just do because I know what it's like to just need just $1 or just need. And I didn't have $1 on me, and I went in there and bought a coffee with my card. It was like a $2 coffee. When I came out, he was like, "Hey, but why don't you buy me a coffee?" And I'm just like, "Bro, like, come on, give me a break, bro." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I know like sometimes like people like him, let's say for instance, may get a check. They may even get a check from the government because they own disability or something like that. But sometimes people get caught up in vices too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people spend their money on stuff that they shouldn't be spending their money on. Sometimes people don't know how to budget money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm speaking from the people who I know or experience, they get a check every month, but that check ain't gonna be around for they can't even keep it around for a week. And they damn sure ain't gonna use it on something that's responsible, like their housing or their room and board or their transportation. You know what I'm saying? To get to work. I don't own a car, but I make sure I'm able to get to work on the other side of town every goddamn day. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if I have to fucking take the goddamn scooter out. I'm going to get to work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to make it happen. And if I didn't have that, I would have to take some money, put it aside to invest to make my life easier to get to work because I have to work. You know what I'm saying? Like I do. So would you say that the current inflation on food is from the COVID stimulus? No, I don't believe that either because bro, like I think that they use stuff like that, like the stimulus, and when they say, "Oh, the stimulus money is what caused inflation," that's just to throw the responsibility on the masses who have made the economy what it is anyway. Without the masses, without the labor force, these rich motherfucking CEOs wouldn't be where they are. So what they do is they obfuscate responsibility onto the person by saying that what they gave us a funky ass $1,200, so that's what's crashing the economy. They're fucking liars. How about all of their crony ass fucking friends, their CEO friends, right? That they give kickbacks to who don't have to pay taxes on certain things, who don't have to pay taxes on certain assets, who get over on the system. Those are the motherfuckers who have crashed the economy. Those are the ones that, how about the banks that they bail out whenever they're fucking insolvent and failing? No, it ain't the people to the tunes of fucking billions upon billions of fucking dollars. It ain't the people, but they give us a fucking $1,200 check and they want to put it on the fucking people. That's why I fucking spit on them, bro. No, it ain't. I don't believe that stimulus check had anything to do with this inflation shit. I think I knew when they gave us that check, I could already see the wheels turning for them to say they were going to put that on the fucking people. I already knew that shit, bro. Just like how I knew when Black Lives Matter came out that they were going to use it as a way to say, no, Black lives really don't matter because it's hijacked bullshit. You feel me? It's just like reverse psychology shit. Look, just like what feminist movement started with women wanting to fucking work and have their own. Now it's been reverted back to get your ass in the kitchen. I just want to be somebody, lay up under some man that's going to just take, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all reverse psychology shit that people fall right into. You feel me? I would, like I say, ideally universal income would fucking work for everybody if there wasn't so many greedy bastards that were there to take advantage of the poor people who need it. You know, I've made money off of YouTube, so I don't need YouTube. I'll make videos because I love to. What do I do? Is when you love something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I make videos. I've been making YouTube videos before I was even monetized. I've been making YouTube videos for years because I like doing it. I just love doing it. This going live is new for me because, like I said, when I started this, you look like Squid. Somebody said, I'll take my hat. Look. Somebody said I look like look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that hairline. Somebody said I look like sexy Squidward. Sexy Squidward. I don't know y'all know who sexy Squidward is, but yeah, I agree. I look just like Squidward. Sexy Squidward though. Van to trap house or land. I'm thankful. I love it. My friend, keep it real. I love channels that keep it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Y'all see that? I'm telling you, that hairline is finished, bro. It is done. When you get to a certain line, that shit used to be down here somewhere, and that shit at some point decided to just take an exit all the way to look at that shit, bro. I'm looking like a whole fucking Kenyan up in this bitch. Yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all see why I be wearing the hats. I be hat fishing them. I be hat fishing the bitches. So you're not telling me nothing, homie. You said Demolition Man? I got that shit. Yeah. Hey, I'll line it up. I don't give a fuck that shit. That shit be all the way back here in the middle of my shit. I'm gonna still line that bitch up. That shit is gone. That shit ain't coming back. With that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all for the likes. Thank y'all for the super chats. I'm gonna try to go live again as much as I can next weekend. I like doing this, so I'll catch y'all next time, okay? Bye, y'all.